And
have you guys ever accidentally called 911?
Yeah.
Like turning off my phone. Something I hit something one day.
No. So I'll tell you what you did. It's your power button over here.
That's
if you hit it like
it
3 or 4 times,
doesn't do 911. It does an emergency call though, right?
But I thought that was calling 911.
Yeah, I thought that calls 911.
I didn't think 911 popped up.
I think it does, Lance, because I accidentally did it.
And I turned it off
and
really
then I
quick.
realized I was calling 911 and I hit it. So they call me back.
Yep, same with me.
And I said, I cannot apologize enough.
Have you ever
it was
called
an actual
911?
emergency. Yeah. You mean like I meant to?
Yeah.
The only time I can remember calling 911, Lance, was we were driving home, Jennifer and I, from Chattanooga. I don't know where we had been, but we'd come through Chattanooga and we're in that corner of Georgia right there. And there was a car on the side of the road and it had just started burning. Like people were still scrambling away from it. I called 911 immediately and told them, there's a car on fire.
One time for me, coming from Lexington, I used to drive overnight. It was near the Christmas season, leaving outside of Nashville, this side of Nashville, came up on a Jeep Cherokee, it looked like, that had rolled down the interstate. Dad probably fell asleep. Body in the road, presents everywhere. And
presents? Like wrapped?
Yeah. Unwrapped in some places.
That's sad,
Body
man.
in the road, mom out of the car, kids out of the car. Some other cars had stopped and were attending, and I pulled over to offer assistance, and I hit 911 really quick, and we've already been called.
Yeah.
Already been called.
911 operator, what's your emergency?
Yeah.
Is that the way they answer?
Actually, 4 times I've had to call 911.
4 times?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That is. That's
including last week.
That's a high amount.
Yeah. But never for anything that,
it's not life-threatening.
wasn't this guy. Well, yeah, I mean.
Well, last week wasn't, I'm sorry.
Last week wasn't, yeah. I didn't know what to do, though. Thought his bone was sticking out of his leg.
I cringe every time you say it. I haven't even seen the photo and don't want to see it, by the way.
Meet Hassan.
It'd be one of those in the broadcast we'd say, we're not going to show you a replay.
Yeah, it's as bad. I'll never forget when who's the running back for in that Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game that went down to the first game of the year last year, and it was on Monday Night Football, and
Marcus Lattimore was that one time.
Yeah, Joe Buck was like, just take our word for it. The replay is as bad as it gets. We're not going to show it to you. And about the time he says it, you hear the whole stadium go, "Oh!"
Because they showed it again
on the big screen.
Meet Hassan Rabat. The Detroit, Michigan man was riding in the passenger seat of a rented Lamborghini when he fired celebratory shots into the air as the purple vehicle was en route to a banquet hall for a wedding reception, according to police. Now, Rabat, member of the wedding party, was traveling in a caravan of, quote, multiple sports vehicles that were driving recklessly in the area stemming from the wedding party. Now, the autos were headed earlier this month to the Royalty Manor Banquet Hall. As the 2021 Lamborghini drove along the highway, a witness told cops passenger had a, quote, firearm in his hand, fired shots in the air.
Okay, now, we all know those bullets come down, so you should never do this. Correct.
As we all know, there's no off-season when it comes to college football. If you want to stay in the know with all things Auburn, join us over on thebarnauburn.com and get $25 off your annual subscription. We'll keep you up to date and give you exclusive content all the way to the first Saturday of football season on thebarnauburn.com.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, let's roll into a live show on a Wednesday. LTD&B with you, doing what we've done for about 16 years now, and that's sitting here talking sports with you guys and other stuff. Don't forget everything on social media, including Apple and Spotify for our podcast. Automatic downloads there help us out tremendously. Like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up. We got a ton of college football to get to, including our 40 and 40 countdown, which goes to number 15 today. Another SEC team. We'll get to that in this opening segment because we got Josh Pate, Mr. College Football for the modern day kids coming up in the next segment. And we look forward to talking to him. But the first thing I want to get to is hockey. And it'll just be because of how astounding it is that we have 4 Stanley Cup champions in the state of Florida in the last 6 years, but we haven't had a Stanley Cup champion from Canada since 1993. It's crazy.
Is baffling. Yeah, I mean, again, I would say, and people point out when we bring this up, it gets pointed out occasionally in the chat, well, you got to look at the number of American teams versus number of Canadian teams. I completely get that.
Yes. Now do Florida.
That makes this a good comparison, what I'm about to say. To me, this would be the equivalent of the SEC not having won a national championship in college football since 1993.
Yeah, I would agree, because you throw in that 6-year span a team that hasn't been around in Vegas. I mean, so you've got Vegas, Tampa, and now Miami.
Yeah. Tampa, 2 Miamis. Yeah,
our 5 of your last 6. It is absolutely amazing that this has become, not only that, maybe the most top-heavy sport. Just seeing back-to-back champions, because we're about to see your 7th champion at 7 years in the NBA. We're about to get a lot of balance, it looks like, in college football. At least we've got 3 different winners in the last 3 years.
Yep. Always get it in the NFL, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, and the reason I make the SEC comparison is not because the best teams are in Canada. That's obviously not the case. It's because the most passionate fans are.
That's right.
I mean, now, Detroit fans are passionate. I don't mean to say Red Wings fans are passionate.
Bruins
Rangers,
fans.
Up the almost Canadian franchises.
Yeah.
I mean, those fans are passionate.
I mean, Kansas State fans are passionate, but it's the Big 12.
Oh, yeah. They're not SEC passionate. I mean, they got some passion, but they're not SEC passionate.
They're 48,000 passionate.
Yeah.
They're not
It's the Big 12.
100,000 passionate.
You said it yourself, but it's the Big 12. And I'm just saying the most passionate fans are in the Southeastern Conference. And the most passionate hockey fans I view are in Edmonton and Toronto and Montreal and Ottawa. And they never win it, and it just doesn't compute. It doesn't make sense.
Here's the one I love the most, is that the Baltimore Stallions, this is a brief period of time, the Baltimore Stallions won a Canadian Football League championship more recently than a Canadian team hoisted the Stanley Cup. And the folks down in Florida, I mean, the lifelong hockey fans down in Miami.
It's a lot of Canadians, I guess. I mean, you talk about snowbirds.
Oh, yeah. But damn, people just love winners, and you jump on the Florida Panther bandwagon.
But it's crazy because you see that crowd, and then we saw the Marlins crowd last week against the Rockies.
Where there was nobody there.
Yeah, there was 100 people there.
Yeah, and then still at 1:35 a.m. local time in Miami last night, you had this scene last night. This is Barkov back out with the Stanley Cup with people still in the arena. These are some of the Panthers employees who were sitting down just soaking the moment in. He brought the cup back out for them after a few cocktails.
Oh, yeah.
And he started raising the cup up for them over and over. It's just a great scene. At 1:35 in the morning.
Well, I was going to say, he loses his feet and goes back on the back of his head, splits his skull open.
Is that a story?
Yeah.
I mean,
Look at that, man. That's just you just love sports. I mean, whatever.
What does that cup weigh, 35 pounds?
Oh, it gets heavier every year. They keep layering a cake on there. Not every year, but it gets heavier and heavier. Used to be the cup on top.
With the inscription, a little bit comes out. I know they add.
That's a good point.
I think they're adding more than they're taking off. I don't want to get weight of wellness on you.
You guys give me a guess on. I'm going 35 pounds.
How much the Stanley Cup weighs?
I think it's a full 40. I'm gonna go in 2025. I'm gonna say it is 43 pounds.
I'm gonna go 28. I'm gonna go below. I'm gonna go low.
34.5
34.5.
That was pretty
You're
close.
a carny.
I'm gonna fact check you.
You can guess the weight of humans and trophies.
Yeah, it's 34.5.
What do you think? All right, so that game ended at.
Yeah. I got it at 15.5 kilograms.
So, all right, let me ask this.
Equates to 34.5 pounds.
Let me ask it this way.
By the way, I had the under 6.5. And that thing, I cannot believe how I had to sweat that thing at the end. It was
crazy.
4-0 with 5 minutes to go.
So you would have to think your average player in that game probably woke up 9, 10 o'clock in the morning yesterday, you think? Or they had a morning skate around, didn't they? Or do they?
I'm sure, Brent.
Okay.
Yes. To your point, it's a long day.
A long day. No, my point was going to be, when do you think the last one goes to sleep for the next time? All right, so the players got about 9 or 10.
Somebody's still awake right now.
Oh, 100% right now. I just wonder how deep that will go.
Somebody has tapped the 24-hour bell.
Yeah.
Ding! 24 hours.
Yeah.
100%.
Like,
I think it's different, though. Were you going to bring up Roman Harper?
No, I was going to bring up Bill Walton.
Oh.
What did Hart tell us?
Well, when Harp, when they won the championship in 2010, the one and only for the Saints, hopefully they'll never win another one. That's one of those things where going into, the Panthers could have won this in 7. So they don't know for a fact if they're going to raise the cup or not. They knew going into that game it's a one-shot situation. So I would assume it was difficult for those guys to sleep anyway. But I think Harb said they went on like 2 or 3 straight days with no sleep because they went back to the quarter and people would continue to buy on drinks and they were just going in and out and they didn't sleep at all.
Did you guys happen to see the damage they did to the cup?
People are talking about that in the chat room, Scott. I did not see
damage to what?
Look at this.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, see, I would feel bad about that.
I would too.
I would too.
I mean, it could be part of the charm of the cup as it's passed around, but
Wait,
boy,
how
you
does
damage
it
it
break?
too much.
Is it made of tinfoil?
I mean, you got people throwing that shit around.
One of our long.
Yeah, people get pretty reckless
cracking
with that thing.
Tito's bottles on the top of it.
So that damage was done last night?
Yeah. This is fresh damage.
So maybe they think they own it for sure now that they've got it back-to-back years.
They're only leasing. They're only leasing it for a year.
Dent on the bottom, crack on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. And that's not Wyndham Clark level, but it's pretty.
I mean,
pretty
can they
embarrassing.
correct that?
Sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt that thing's
Is it like
sustained some damage before.
But is it like dental work? Because I was about to say when we were talking about the party, now I question what I was about to ask. I mean, it being Miami and South Beach, is there a chance there were any A, B, C, or D cups in the cup at any point last night?
Oh, I'm sure. I was going to say, if you could right now on the fly give me the most unique thing you could do with that cup that would stand out and people are talking about it in 50 years.
Oh.
I'll go first. You ready? No, I would take 2 piranhas and let them fight to the death.
In the bowl?
In the bowl.
At the top?
Yeah.
And do you think anybody be talking about that in 50 years?
Yeah, nobody else has
yeah.
ever done that. Yeah.
Okay, give me one.
That was tamer than what I thought you were going to go.
They've probably seen the other side of this.
I was pressing the brakes so quick on this.
No.
As I've done for 16 years.
Sadly,
Yeah.
I was thinking way worse than what Lance said.
Yeah.
I don't
me
know.
too.
I mean, you couldn't even fit one Olsen's one in there. Like,
Oh, I'm sure
No, I mean the Polaroid snapshots of that cup over the years. You can
Yeah.
only imagine what the scrapbook would look like.
There-
If the Stanley Cup had a scrapbook of the women, it had been with.
There has been a bare human backside in the
There's been
top of the cup.
every body part
Yeah.
has been in that cup.
Yeah. No
hard
telling.
to drink out of that cup.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Now
that
they
cup
do
is
it.
overflowed. Stanley Cup, though, man.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do a whole show on it,
That's
but
good. I was thinking about the Bill Walton story though that was told after he died, and I think Larry Bird told it or somebody told it that he and Bird, when they won the title in '86, had been out and partied the whole night, and Bird was finally like, "I got to go home, man. I can't. I'm too old to do an all-nighter. My body's broke down." So they go back to Bird's house, and Bird's wife is there. And, Bill says, "Break out the bourbon." And Larry's like, "No, literally, Bill, I'm going to bed. You can stay up and drink bourbon all you want. Just close the door behind you. I'm going to bed." And Bird said, "I slept and slept and slept. And I swear I woke up, walked in my kitchen the next morning, and Bill's still sitting there drinking bourbon. He had stayed in my kitchen all night and into the morning just sipping on bourbon."
there's a reason one's in the ground and one's still living,
That's
right? But that is I don't know, I think we've talked about this before, the most recognizable, unique, to me, trophy in all of sports is Stanley Cup.
I would agree.
and the presentation. I mean,
The way they hand it around.
Yeah, we do this in college football on the stage now. We do it with the Lombardi Trophy, but when you skate around and do all of that, it's really cool.
I just don't think that trophy in college football, and hear what I'm saying, it doesn't mean that much. Like winning the championship means that much.
No, the trophy, it doesn't
there
mean
is
that much.
something
Yeah.
about Lord Stanley's Cup
Yeah.
that is just so freaking historic.
It is, yeah. Nobody plays for that college football trophy. They play for the college football championship. I literally think those guys play.
Well, I mean, it's because it's changed over the years.
Right.
I mean,
just look at this.
Yeah.
This picture.
I mean, those guys.
That's awesome.
Those guys play to hold that trophy up. Like the championship means something.
even
that celebration, that picture, that moment to hold it up. It's harder to do when it's 34.5 pounds.
Even the Larry O'Brien trophy, the one time I remember, Michael Jordan getting emotional and rolling around on the ground with it, I just don't think that trophy means much to different NBA players.
But what I'm saying is if you had taken the AP poll started in 1930 something, 34, 36, somewhere around there. So if you'd had an AP poll trophy that you had inscribed and it had been layered up year after year since 1930 something, that was one trophy.
Yeah.
The reason these other trophies don't mean as much is because it's not the same trophy. I mean, that dented piece of hardware there is in Miami for this year, but it's going to be maybe in Edmonton, betting favorite next year, to go to Edmonton, back there again for the first time since the 90s or whenever.
They've started to make a bigger deal about the Lombardi presentation, and I think that one may be number 2.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think the Lombardi's number 2. I mean, they've started.
When they walk it out?
When they walk it out, and all the players reach out and touch it, and it gets fingerprints all over it.
I like the college football one better than that one.
Ooh, I like Lombardi a lot better.
I can't even picture the college football.
Yeah, college
They're
football.
on the podium and they hold it up.
I know what they do. I'm telling you, I
picture
can't
Nick
picture it.
Saban do it. Our friends at New Life Art. I mean, you see it right here.
Those are soldiers of fortune that have played for the university 1 year.
I can't even. I'm as big a college football fan as there is. I can't even picture what the college one looks like now. I can remember the glass ball that Carson's old man broke.
the gold cylinder?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It looks like a lipstick.
That JD didn't know was 2 pieces?
Yeah. That's right. JD Vance dropped it.
Yeah, but it'll change again in the next couple of years.
It looks like a.
I don't think so. I think that's it now.
It looks like a fancy fingernail polish bottle.
Yeah, I don't like the look at all.
Yeah, I'm not crazy.
We talk about our bourbon bottles.
I like
presentation.
I like the Crystal Football better.
I think I do
Crystal
too.
Football's
Yeah,
better.
I would agree with you on that.
It was much better.
And that was a lot easier to pick up and hold up in the air.
That's right. Hold the crystal ball.
Hold the crystal ball. It comes
kiss
off.
it.
That's
and
right.
set it back into the thong or the tongs. What is it called?
That would be tongs, not thongs. Yeah.
Set it back into there or the thongs.
I bet it's been done.
Yeah.
You think a mini stripper's ever been in that Stanley Cup?
Yes,
the show today being brought to you by our friends at Bojangles. That gets you going today, Brownie. You swallow and then jump in on Bojangles.
Yeah, it is bow time at Bojangles. You can swing by there right now and get some of that breakfast. Later on at lunch, they got all those dipping sauces just waiting for you to drop a chicken tender in them. From sweet to heat, Bojangles has 7 sauces that will definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with the sauces than hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. You want to add some tang, try barbecue. You want some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you want smooth and creamy, house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, classic Bo sauce, they are ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles, order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bo time.
And our college football playoff commissioners, they've got some things they got to work out. We'll talk about that later in the show. We'll talk about Auburn's opener with Baylor later in the show. But right now, we want to get to our 40 and 40 countdown because I got a friend who's a Gator fan, and he was pissed off at poker a few weeks ago. He's like, I cannot believe, I listen every day, I cannot believe your listeners and voters did not have this team, his team, in your 40 and 40. How are they not in the top 40? I said, I had to go look, and I was like, just be patient. We'll talk about that team after LT tells us about Champions Boxing.
Hey, boxing for fitness and competition, all ages starting at 9 years old. My man Jack Taylor had just found something he absolutely loved over the last couple of months. He's going to be down for the next couple of months. But if you are looking for something for your son or daughter or just yourself, any former athletes looking to try another sport to compete in after high school or college, our friends at Champions Boxing, they are there for you, conveniently located behind the Purple Onion in Pelham, Instagram at Champions Boxing AL, Facebook at Champions Boxing AL, team and family oriented, helps in teaching discipline and fundamentals. All ages starting at 9 years old, 8 USA boxing certified coaches, not only in boxing but strength and conditioning. Coaches have experience in the amateur, professional, and Olympic levels. Get in, tell Akash and Jake, Mailman, all the guys the next round sent you. It is Champions Boxing.
All right, Damien, if you're watching or listening, here we go at number 15. It's the Florida Gators sliding in. A little bit of what we have here on the show. 6 of our voters had them not ranked. The highest person had him ranked at 8. That was David Wilson. Bo O'Neill had him 9. Karen Johns had him 9. Tony Posey had him 10. Ryan Brown had him 10.
Smart guy.
So all playoff teams right there. I had him 23. Taylor Corn had him 19. LT had him 21. Forrester had him 25. A lot of people buying the Gators this year despite their schedule.
Well, that's the problem, and this is the best roster in 4 years that Billy Napier has had. Back to your Gator fan, I can't believe you hadn't had them. They've averaged a little over 6 wins in the first 3 years for Billy Napier.
No, he thought we'd left them out of the top 40.
Yeah.
Well, that's where they normally are.
That's right.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Look, they do have, again, the best roster. DJ Lagway, 6-1 as a starting quarterback last year. A lot of this is dependent on how healthy he is. He's finally got a lot of skill around him. When you look at, speaking of Wilsons, Eugene Wilson, Dallas Wilson, really good receivers. This team, and you start to look at the defense, what they did. They end the season years 1 and 2 for Napier on losing streaks. They have won 4 consecutive games going into 2025, and in those 4 games, 19 sacks, 12 takeaways during that stretch. So the defense has gotten really aggressive, flying around. The schedule just kills me, Brown.
Oh, it's awful.
And as we get to that, Brownie, Patrick Phillips and Jared Holt, along with the other names I threw out, also have them making the playoffs. They were just slightly outside of the top 10. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of our voters have the Gators in the playoffs with this schedule.
Myself included, and it is brutal. It includes maybe the toughest 4-game stretch in the country. I have not been able to look at everyone's schedule, but all the ones we stumble across, this one is maybe the most difficult 4-game stretch. They open 2-0. If they don't do that, there is no playoff. But they're at LSU week 3. Really, really tough night game, 6:30 ABC, primetime Tiger Stadium. Then you're at Miami the next week, one of the better teams in the ACC. You get a much-needed bye week probably. Then you just have to turn around and host Texas. Could be a night game at your place. And then you're at Texas A&M. Could be a night game at their place. That's probably as tough a 4-game stretch as you're going to find anywhere in the country.
Well, look, they're only going to be favored at least on paper right now in 6 games.
So 3 of the 4 games are on the road, and the other one is probably number 1 or number 2 Texas?
Yep, that's it. The one home game you get might be the top-ranked team.
First team that we have previewed in our 40 and 40 that is favored in half or less than half of their games.
That's a testament to the difficulty of their schedule. There is no doubt.
And that's why, I thought I was overextending at 23. I just don't think they can stand up to that schedule.
Oh, I think they're 7-5 or 8-4. 8-4 is their top 20 team. 7-5, they're probably 20-25 with that schedule.
With that schedule, if the voters are fair and not just looking at win-loss. Yes, I agree with you. That if you're 7-5 with that schedule, 8-4 with that schedule, you're a top 20 team in my opinion.
If you're 9-3, again, I think this will be the year we get a 3-loss team into the college football playoff. 9-3 gets them in 100%, and I think at 9-3 he might be your SEC coach of the year.
He might be.
No, I would agree with you on Billy Napier there. I wouldn't say 9-3 automatically gets you in with a human committee. Should it get them in?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, just give me even 3.
Well, let's do their
like
toughest.
If you've only got 3 losses, you've got at least 3 really good top 25 wins.
I'll put it this way, Brownie. That 3-loss Florida team with that schedule, a lot more deserving than Alabama was last year.
Oh, I would agree.
And we've griped about Alabama not being in.
Let's just say that it's Texas, Georgia, and at LSU.
Yeah.
So you've gone to Miami, you've won at A&M, you've won at Ole Miss, you've beaten Tennessee and Florida State. Florida State will take that out, but that'd be 4 top 25 wins.
Yeah, and Miami likely should eliminate them from a playoff contender, Brown. Miami's a contender.
I mean, would you agree 9-3 gets them in?
I mean, with those wins, yeah.
I mean, with those losses, like you take the 3 best teams they're going to play, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong here, Texas, Georgia, I'm going to say at LSU over anybody else.
I guess your nightmare scenario would be if it's you versus LSU for the final spot, and then LSU has beaten you, and y'all have your resume looks a lot alike. That would be the nightmare for you there.
Yeah. Or Georgia.
I mean, it could be Georgia or Tech. I mean, it could be any of those.
There's a way 3 losses they don't get in, but I think it's probably 90% they get in with that schedule.
Yeah, that's where a lot of the college football playoff, how we're going to select the teams in the future, comes into play because, as Brown was pointing out there and LT's pointing out, in a computer model, those kind of wins and quality losses in the basketball world would move Florida up. Humans, the way we saw them last year, we don't know if Florida would get the credit. Cut 1, Tyler, this is Billy Napier, on why people like Brownie are bullish on this team. Billy Napier, with DJ Lagway at quarterback, really loves what Florida used to be known for in the Percy Harvin days. Wide receivers out the wazoo. He loves this wide receiver group. Here's Billy Napier.
This is by far the deepest receiver group we've had since we've been here. And documented speed. I mean, I think there's a bunch of speed out there. So that's got a chance to be a strength for us. And, if we can put together some balance there and distribute the ball and get good quarterback play, got a chance to make more explosives in the future. I think ultimately that's an area where we need to improve to go the distance.
That's Billy Napier there back when spring football was happening for the Florida team that is 15 today in our 40 and 40 countdown.
I think great teams find ways to navigate schedules. Not so good teams find ways to lose really easy schedules. But, man, if they had, I don't know, an Ole Miss schedule.
Or Texas.
Yeah, there are a lot of schedules that this is a 10-2 team with.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the unfortunate thing for Napier now in year 4 is how difficult this schedule gets.
Yeah, it was bad last year. He saved it at the end, probably with that win over Ole Miss. I'm not saying that saved his job, but it certainly made it feel different. But you just got to flip it around and play it again. And look, I'll give them credit. They're already playing Florida State out of conference, and you don't know that Florida State's going to end up sucking. You're going to play that game every year either way, but they wouldn't schedule Miami. I mean, it's not like they just took off and said, all right, we get Florida State. We can schedule a bunch of LIU Sharks and USFL Bulls. They scheduled Miami. I give them credit for scheduling a difficult schedule.
What is the most top 10 teams a team has ever played in season? You guys have any idea? I don't know.
10?
Top 10 when they played them?
Yeah, or even after, because at LSU, that should be a top 10 either at some point or at the end of the year. At Miami, good chance there's a top 10.
Yeah.
Texas, definitely. At A&M, outside shot. Georgia, definitely. At Ole Miss, outside shot. And Tennessee, outside shot.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got an opportunity to play 5 or 6 top 10 teams this year.
I mean, teams that spend a little time in the top, maybe not necessarily when they play them, but teams that spend some time in the top 10.
Yeah, but to your point, LSU, Miami, Texas,
Georgia.
There's 4 playoff teams right there that I would say right now are in the playoffs.
And if I told you that either Ole Miss, A&M, or Tennessee got to the playoffs, it wouldn't shock you.
Nope,
One of those 3.
It would not.
Yeah, but basically you're looking at a schedule that of 12 teams in the playoffs, I could play 4 of them in the regular season and then have to flip around and play them again in the playoffs
That is
in
correct.
rematches.
Yeah, it is brutal.
My whole path to the playoffs, to the championship, could be rematches. All my games in the playoffs.
This is the NFC North.
Yeah, tough schedule for the Florida Gators. We respect them at 15. I don't think they end up there.
I
don't either.
I would almost say if you only let me watch one SEC team all year, it would be Florida. It's just such an entertaining schedule.
What a miserable. What'd you do for it to be punished like that?
I don't know, but if I had to pick one, if to save the earth, Iran is about to blow the earth to smithereens, you can save it. You just have to pick one SEC team. You have to watch every one of their games, and that's the only one you can watch.
How
It'd be
appealing
Florida.
is the home the season ticket package?
Well, I get to see Texas.
Well, you get to see Long Island.
Yeah.
South Florida.
But I get to see Texas State, Tennessee, and Florida State. That's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
Long Island, is it from New York or is it a different Long Island?
It's New York, yeah.
It's a Long Island, New
think.
York?
Yeah. And Long Island Sharks, by the way.
Yeah.
But they were the early Jaws attacks. I mean, part of the Peter Benchley novel was based on that. By the way, 2 days away from 50 years.
Is there a chance that Long Island has won a hockey trophy more recently than the country of Canada?
Oh, yes.
I really didn't, until we talked about the schedule this year, I had no idea that Long Island had a football team.
I did not either. First time I'd ever heard of them. So there you go. That's Florida and our 40 and 40 countdown brought to you by our friends at Champions. One more thing to get to in this segment before we get to Josh Pate. New sport out there. We're going to introduce you to a new sport that debuted this week, June 14th, this weekend. After Brownie tells us about our friends at Breakline Optics. This sport may be so good, you may have to wear these things because the future is bright.
I saw our man Cleve sending out some stuff on social for Breakline as you do this. Hey, take a look when you get a chance at Long Island's their schedle. Tell me if Florida would go undefeated with that.
Well, they got to play themselves, but
Sacred Heart, Rhode Island, Mercyhurst, Stonehill, Robert Morris, New Haven, Central Connecticut, Duquesne, St. Francis, and Wagner.
That may have been the glasses I would have picked out.
Well, here, you want them?
No. You got to have them for a prop.
For breaking news.
Well, we got another prop in there.
I can get another pair.
I told you guys to pick, and nobody's gotten back with me on their glasses. Have you guys even looked? Tyler, Forster, Dunaway?
Lance is going to shame you if you haven't looked.
No, I'm just saying that I'm prepared to get them for you.
I look when the video is up. I watch them, and these are the ones I
Brown
like.
does look like
take these.
Ronnie Millsap
Take
right
these.
there.
I'm not gonna keep these any longer.
Well, you want to do breaking news?
Jim has mentioned it twice. No, I'm gonna go get another pair for the
I
breaking
usually
news.
do the breaking news.
I'll go get you some.
Give me another pair. All right, Breakline Optics. BreaklineOptics.com is where you go. BreaklineOptics.com. These are some of the strongest you'll ever see. The Trivex lenses. They're molded polarized Trivex lenses. And what that means is they're basically unbreakable. I've seen them smash these lenses with hammers. They will not break. You got a lifetime warranty against any manufacturer defense, 100% American-based reliable customer service. When you need it, that's what you've got. They are resistant to nature's elements, harsh chemicals. They're resistant to that. I mean, basically, these things are made to last forever.
Now I want those back.
BreaklineOptics.com. You can also see them in person, Deep South Outfitters in Birmingham.
I just think glasses look good on you.
Well, thank you, Jim.
Covers up some of that face. You walked into that one. Here we go now. I didn't sleep much last night.
I like Punchy Jim.
Here we go now. New sport. It's called Ice Wars, where we take the hockey out of fights. New sport debuted this week. That's right. It's bare knuckle fighting like UFC, but on skates, no sticks, no pucks, no game.
Just fighting?
It's just you're in skates in the hockey gear and you just fight.
Well, I bet the late Bob Probert. I think Bob Probert's dead now. Ty Domi.
Yep.
Those kind of guys, what they could do. Just knowing how to navigate the sweaters.
Yep. No holds bar, bare knuckle ice wars coming to a casino near you, apparently. What do you think? Would you watch it?
No.
Nope.
I don't watch UFC.
Our buddy Chief, you guys know Chief.
I know
Yeah.
Chief.
He used to, when we were in middle school, it started, he would have hockey fights, the VHS tapes delivered to him. He had a library of hockey fights, and I'd go over there and he'd be in the recliner and he'd be like, you got to check this one out.
Hockey fights.
I'm not kidding. Like, he had a library of hockey fights, and he would just sit around and watch hockey fights all the time.
pretty crazy.
So, and this is a guy from Birmingham, Alabama. I guarantee you, up north, you got a market for this.
Yeah. Bare knuckle ice wars, a new sport coming to you. I wonder if they've got a Josh Pate that breaks down the best there.
No
Yeah.
pucks.
Just fighting.
No scoreboard.
There's no scoring system. The judges decide the winner by going, you just know who wins when it's over with. You just watch the 5 rounds, and you know who wins. When we come back, we talk football with Mr. College Football Josh Pate on the other side. The show brought to you by Odie's. Tonight is trivia night.
Yeah, Odie's Team Trivia. We do it every Wednesday night, the original location in Crestline. Come join us, the newest location right there in Edgewood, corner of Broadway and Oxmoor. Great food from Rodney Davis for almost 4 decades now. The award-winning wings, delicious burgers, great sandwiches like the Diablo sandwich, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light, and, of course, the Odie's famous Styrofoam cups. Stop in, see Will Haver in that great step, and mark it down tonight. Me and Brown, 8 o'clock, Odie's Team Trivia, original location in Crestline.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Hey, you. Days warming up, looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1? Find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2? Stream it now. Miss Hour 3? Download it for later. Miss Hour 4? Well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
Think about the best summer nights of your life. How many of those were in a great t-shirt? Visit nextround.store to get the perfect t-shirt for the next perfect southern night. Nextround.store. The memories are waiting. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemphill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemphill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemphill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemphill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Josh Pate standing by. Standing by so patiently, we will tell you about Twin Peaks after Josh Pate. I'm going to put 29-degree ice-cold beer on hold and other things that you get at Twin Peaks to talk to Josh Pate, who's fresh off his honeymoon. I corrected Brown like I knew Josh Pate's life one day pre-show. You had a celebration down on the Gulf Coast, and I thought it was after your honeymoon, and I was like, we should get Josh Pate on this week. And he's like, I think he's on his honeymoon. I was like, no, he's back from his honeymoon. You just had a celebration down on the Gulf Coast. Brown knew you better than I did, Pate. Congratulations. Beautiful bride. Good time to be Josh Pate. Honeymoon, best time ever. I loved my honeymoon. Those 8 days didn't seem like I had a care in the world. How was your honeymoon?
Okay, you threw a lot at me.
About 8 questions right there.
Great honeymoon. It occurred to me because HR brought it to my attention. I had not taken a vacation day since 2020. So I took 7 of them consecutively, easily a record for me. We went to St. Lucia. I had to get a passport because it will shock the 3 of you to learn I had never left the country. I had barely been south of the Okefenokee Swamp for a long time. So I certainly had not left the country. So I went down to St. Lucia. It was great. All I did was ask a bunch of head coaches who have gone on vacation down there to send me to have their wives send me all their planning, all their itineraries and stuff. And we just kind of selected like a best of from all the vacations that people who vacation regularly have taken. It was great. There were volcanoes down there. There was just a lot of stuff that I've never seen before. And I think St. Lucia, I got to exchange currency. I got to dabble in a foreign language. It's none of that. It's basically just like going to Miami. It's great, except it's a little bit further south than Miami.
Yeah.
Miami, but further south.
Yeah. Sounds great. I saw you in a hammock, I think.
Okay.
Can you believe that? Not even AI generated either. I don't know what became of me.
I love a hammock.
I loved your new bride. All of a sudden is the video coordinator for the Josh Pate platform. I love that.
No, just she got a lot of producer credits.
I'm going to assume you didn't see a Street and Smiths or a Phil Still in the local market down there.
I saw some magazines, Lance. That's about as specific as I would like to be on what I saw in the marketplace down there. But no, I did not lick the index finger and crack one of those open yet. I'm behind on my preview magazine consumption. I'm way behind. Some of my buddies have already gone cover to cover on those things. They're like, "Can you believe what Lindy said and Antoine said?" And I'm like, I cannot, because I have not delved in quite yet.
Hey, something we brought up last week, 6 teams, according to SI, that are spending $40 million plus this year on their rosters. And it was a lot of the usuals: Ohio State, Oregon. You guys might be able to help me. Ohio State, Oregon, Texas.
Notre Dame, right?
Notre Dame, Texas Tech, and Miami. Those were the 6 teams. First of all, do you believe it? Are they that head and shoulders above everybody else as far as what they're spending? Are there other teams in the neighborhood? And what does that do for teams like Texas Tech and Miami?
Yeah, well, to answer your first question, yeah, I believe it. I think you got to specify, and I don't know if they did. I don't know if the articles out there do this, but you got to specify about the value of a compensation package versus the amount of straight cash you're putting in someone's hand. Like a lot of these guys, as has been written about a little bit, they're baking in all kind of value into their deals. A lot of them want private flights for families. A lot of them want housing, which, hey, I don't blame them. I'd ask for it too. Well, that's not cash in hand, but that's certainly value in your overall signing portfolio, if you will. So if you add all that up, then yeah, I believe those dollar figures are at least ballpark a reality. You ask what it does to me. I go to the school you just mentioned there, Texas Tech. Texas Tech is one that could descend like Sting from the rafters. Like that's one that could come out of nowhere any given year if that's the dynamic. Like if they were to go get a bunch of guys and somehow they all gelled and congealed as a team is supposed to, then they could do some stuff that you're not supposed to be able to do in the Big 12. And then what's also fun is watching a team put together like that go against a team that's still together like Arizona State. It's not a ton of NIL. It's just guys that were there last year. They're still there this year. They are coming off a conference championship. They're coming off a playoff appearance. So it's like classical version of team versus NIL version of team. Both are legal, and you kind of watch them go at it. That game, I think it's maybe like late September, early October. They play each other on the same Saturday that a bunch of the big games happen. There's like, I can't remember which Saturday it is, but there's a big Saturday, and Texas Tech, Arizona State's part of that. But yeah, I pretty much buy some of the dollar figures.
So speaking of that, Josh Pate is with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline. Josh Pate CFB, the Josh Pate College Football Show. You see it on YouTube. Go subscribe and give him a thumbs up and consume it every time you can. Based on that, with that in mind, we have varying interviews and reports this week, one of which says Lenora Sellers was offered $8 million in the offseason. One of which, Diego Pavia, says he was offered $4 million in the offseason. Do you believe those? What?
We're one away from 2 truths and a lie, in my opinion.
I mean, listen, Diego Pavia, I thought was a nice story last year, Pate, and they upset Alabama. They got a big road win at Auburn. That is not a $4 million quarterback in college football.
Well, I would agree with you, but I also happen to know what Duke paid Menza to come there from Tulane.
Yeah.
And so I don't really know what the market is. I don't know if anyone's worth $8 million a year or truthfully, I'm just getting back in the swing of things. I didn't even see that report. That's an astronomical figure. I think $4 million, unless you've got an absolute guaranteed commodity, like if Cade Klubnik was coming to me. All right, well, that's the kind of proven production, 36 touchdowns, 6 INTs last year, playoff caliber guy, played great against Texas. If I'm going to pay that kind of money, I'm paying it for him. All due respect, just oozing respect here for Diego Pavia. No. All caps, no on that. So I do think we're in this sort of latter part of the Wild West NIL era, which thankfully wasn't all that incredibly long, where if we fast forward another 10 years and the 4 of us are narrating the documentary, you're telling these kinds of things as funny one-off anecdotes. Once things have hopefully calibrated themselves, you're just saying, remember when? And Diego Pavia, $4.5 million rumor, that's just one of the remember whens. Darian Mensah being paid that much money to go from Tulane to Duke, that's one of the remember whens. And then you think about how quickly that gets covered up when you've got all the other headlines out there about the SEC and the Big Ten fighting over a playoff format or fighting over whether the transfer portal window should be in January or in late spring. It's just a whole bunch of remember when that's going to make the documentary in 2030 really entertaining, and hopefully we're all a part of it. I'm not even sure who's producing it yet.
Josh Pate Productions.
This college football playoff starting over thing that we're talking about. What you design it for us? What should the playoffs be? Because I never know until I go watch your show whether you on social media is being serious or not. Is the SEC plan ruining college football's regular season? Is the Big Ten plan do this or that? Josh Pate, design us a playoff system. What is it?
Well, if we are to go by the available models, I always need to preface it like that because you guys know me well. You know I never wanted to expand it. So I just love to go back in time to before it expanded, but that's not a reality. So the reason I say that is because what I am a hardcore proponent of now is something I would have hated myself for 10 years ago. Because 10 years ago, I was of the opinion that no matter how big the playoff is, you should never have automatic qualifier spots for anyone. If we're going to have 4 teams, just take the top 4 teams. I don't want guaranteed spots for conference champs or anything like that. But I've totally inverted my thinking on that because now what we're talking about is a 14-team field or a 16-team field. And at that point, I believe the only way to maintain what I love the most, which is maximum urgency on regular season games, is to have the AQ structure. So for that reason, I am a hardcore proponent, like massive proponent of what the Big Ten has put out there. I hate what the SEC has put out there. I despise the 5+11 model. And I'm going to use this term loosely, love the AQ model, which I would have hated 10 years ago. The reason is because if you go the 4-4-2-2-1-1, if you go 14 teams, number one, I get that play-in Saturday concept. I get to watch the SEC's 1 and 2 playing the SEC championship game. But it's not just that, Dunaway. Here's what's important about that. In that model, for all the hand-wringing about what it guarantees the SEC in terms of 4 and Big Ten in terms of 4, the only guarantees as late in the season as the first Saturday in December are that those top 2 teams are going to go to the playoff. Outside of that, I'm going to watch 6 go play 3. The loser of that thing's out. They're not going to the playoff.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch 5 play 4. The loser of that is out.
It's the playoffs already. It's another week of the playoffs.
That is correct. It's the right way to think about this. Everyone keeps thinking about how it's so warped because it bakes in superiority for the SEC and the Big Ten. Well, that's already baked into the sport, first off. But how do I get urgency in regular season games? And I'll go rubber to road here. I'll use, I keep on going to this example. Let's say it's the first week of November. Tennessee's 9-1. A 9-1 Tennessee that late in the season, probably safely a top 10 team, maybe even a top 5 team. In the 5+11 format, or in taking straight top 16 or top 14, in either of those 2 formats, that Tennessee team knows it can probably lose 2 of its final 3 games. And they know they're in. They're just playing for seeding. In the AQ model, Tennessee, if they lose a game and they go to, let's say, 10-2 end of the regular season, they're probably not playing for the SEC title game, which means they get to the end of the regular season. The number 3 team, theoretically, in the SEC gets to the end of the regular season, and they're guaranteed nothing. They know they got to play their way in on that first Saturday. They may host a game in Neyland, but they got to beat Missouri or beat South Carolina or beat Georgia, whoever, to even go to the playoff. So, yeah, the SEC itself at large is guaranteed 4 spots. But when you drill down to individual teams, almost nobody's guaranteed anything. So that's why I go the AQ model, and people can't get past the principle of it, like they can't get past the dirty concept of pre-guaranteeing conferences 4 spots. Well, I ask you this. Has anyone paid attention to Ross Dellinger's reporting that's been congruent with this? And that reporting is they are retuning the way they value strength of schedule. They are redefining the way they select teams in general. If you go the 5+11 model, not only is the SEC already going to have a huge baked-in advantage because they're the deepest conference in college football, but you also need to understand the table will tilt even further in the SEC's favor as strength of schedule is redefined, which it should be, by the way. I'm not against that. But you're talking about the SEC. I would say if you extrapolated over 5 years, playing a 5+11 model, I would guesstimate the average number of SEC teams getting in that playoff at between 6 3/4 and 7 1/4 teams per year. That'd be darn near half the field every year. If you're an SEC fan, that sounds good. If you're a college football fan, it sucks because the competitive balance is not that anymore. But number two, it pisses on the regular season in the process. There's no winning in that. That's good for SEC head coaches, and that's about all it's good for.
Let's look ahead to one SEC game, major college football playoff implications, October 11th. Look in your crystal ball. One undefeated team, 5-0 Oklahoma, 3-2 Texas coming into this game.
How did Texas get to 3-2?
Oh, they're going to be 3-2 at this point. I'm telling you right now, you heard it here first. They're losing to Ohio State. They're losing at Florida. They're 3-2 coming into this game. But better quarterback coming into this game. Who do you feel better about right now, Mateer or Manning?
Oh, this is Dark Lance. So we have to put the hood on. This is Dark Lance. John Mateer's my guy in this scenario, is he not? John Mateer, I mean, McShay's out there dropping F-bombs, talking about how competitive he is. And if he's undefeated, who is he beaten? He's beaten Michigan at home by this point. He's beaten Auburn. Texas has lost to Ohio State, and who else do you have?
At Florida.
Florida? Oh,
I mean, that's a tough schedule already, right?
Could be. I also have it on good authority that Texas has had trouble finding hotel accommodations in or near Gainesville for that game.
Everybody knows.
Oh, look out. Look out.
Yeah.
It's a terrible hotel town.
Yeah.
We're making them stay in Thomasville.
There's a Comfort Inn back to it. There used to be a breakfast place. I don't know if it's still in business. What was the name of the place?
Cafe Risque.
Cafe Risque. Yeah. There's a Comfort Inn that probably could accommodate.
My advice to Texas was learn to speak Ocala. Buddy. That's my advice to Texas. I think so. Lance, think about this. Okay, if it's 5-0 OU, 3-2 Texas, there is the distinct possibility that OU wins that game, and Texas exits Dallas 3-3.
Oof.
How quickly? Look at the snap of the finger. How quickly has the tune changed forget about Arch, on Steve Sarkisian? That's how quickly the grains of sand can change in the hourglass. But that's going to sound crazy, that whole scenario you just presented. But you go to Ohio State, you go to Florida. Texas is either a dog or a short favorite in either of those games. OU should be favored against Michigan and against Auburn. This very well could happen. It sounds crazy, and yet it's totally foreseeable.
Hey, nobody listens to me. You run with it. I'm telling you, this thing's going to play out, and Mateer is going to be the talk of college football. I agree with you. I think he's going to be great.
I have been a hardcore proponent of his. Like, I put OU in my top 10 based off expectation that he's going to be that guy, and everyone freaked out. I get it, because the biggest image in your rearview mirror is them being terrible last year. But I don't think they were a terrible team. They were a really good roster that was just totally toxic at quarterback. It was an oil and water fit between Jackson Arnold and that entire offensive staff. So both of those have moved on respectively. And not only did you bring in a QB that's, I think, the answer, you brought in his coordinator with him. So there's not that acclimation period. So, all right, we've booked that. Undefeated Oklahoma, barely above 500 Texas, a poverty program by that point.
Yep. And at that point,
but at 3-3, are they out of the top 25?
Yeah, and at that point, people are piling on Arch Manning.
Oh yeah,
and at that point, Manning Blast is out drawing viewers than Manning Cast does. At that point.
Okay. So I see what you did there.
Yeah,
so we got to go. I thought he was going hood again.
I thought we were going dark hoodie again.
Yes. Go watch Josh Pate's show. Someone mentioned it, and I saw this. Someone mentioned it in the chat room. Pate tells a story on a recent show, I believe it was Sunday Night Show, about when he didn't have two $20 bills to rub together, but he wanted to go see a certain coach speak, and it changed his life. He begged, borrowed, and stole to get in, and it changed his life. Cool story there. So was that on Sunday Night Show? Do you remember, Josh?
Dude, I don't even remember what I said on Sunday night, but I know the story they're talking about.
Well, is this one of the reasons you didn't travel? Like you said, you've never been out of the country. Is it because monetarily you just you didn't have the resources?
Yeah, man, I had no money. I've only had a little bit of money in the past 4 years in my life. I never had anything. So Panama City or bust was the old family credo growing up for me. People talked about Destin, Lance. Destin was the Riviera.
Uppity.
There's no way they're letting me in there. Destin, come on now.
That was across the bridge.
There's no way they're letting me in there.
Did y'all even get to go out to eat one night, or was it all sandwiches on the beach and then
Angelo's Steak Pit? You had to have gone to Angelo's Steak Pit.
The first time I went to Angelo's Steak Pit, it was it felt like a field trip, honestly. And then I just kept pressing the button on that little cowboy who says Angelo's Steak Pit. I just kept pressing the button over and over again. I wanted to get up on the cow. I wanted the photo op. I wanted everything. No. It was, do you remember in Panama City, like when you would come in, you would turn onto Thomas Drive, there's a little breakfast diner there. And two things I remember. You could get Indian head pennies out of the quarter machine. Quarter for a penny. Somehow the transaction made sense.
What a deal.
And then number 2, it's the first place I ever had chocolate chip waffles. So that was a delicacy to me. I love that place.
Oh, yeah. Quarter for a penny. That's it. What are we going to do with this machine? Make 24 cents a transaction. I'll go and tell you.
Hey, look, man, times like that, you appreciate like having art on your wall behind you.
That's right.
Hey. Look at that magnolia.
Yeah.
That's
gorgeous.
Right there.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. There was a reason I walked over to you that night in Bryant-Denny Stadium, man. We're mud puddle people. It's perfect.
Was that the first time y'all met?
We'd seen each other, but that was the first time I actually talked to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jim was sizing you up first.
Who is this? How do you get in?
Josh Pate's college football show Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. Follow him on social media at Josh Pate CFB. See the show on YouTube. Pate, it is always fun to talk to you. Thank you so much for the time.
Could not like that guy anymore.
That's right. Thank you, buddy.
I appreciate it, guys.
See ya. Josh Pate with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline.
Twin Peaks bringing you part of the show, LT.
Twin Peaks, great place to watch the Thunder once they do hoist the Larry O'Brien trophy sooner than later. And no one does happy hour like our friends at Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, they've got everything from the tequila cocktails, great bourbon category, top shelf spirits cocktails served over those ice balls, local craft beers, handcrafted whiskey cocktails. They've got a drink menu second to none. Don't forget about the 29-degree drafts served in 3D. Twin Peaks girls running everywhere, all over the place. Great food as well. Stop and see our friends at Twin Peaks.
You can go see great places in America like Angelo's Steak Pit in Panama City and an RV from Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman. 334 in Decatur, always online, johnstonrvcenter.com.
Call or text that number right there, man. I love that. Upper right-hand corner, 256-957-1081, just in case you can't read it, Brownie.
That's right. Thank you very much, Jim. RV warranty forever. Make sure you're covered lifetime on anything new and qualifying pre-owned at Johnston RV Center. johnstonrvcenter.com, johnstonrvcenter.com. Did you ever eat at Angelo's?
Oh, yeah.
I never did.
You've never eaten at Angelo's?
Mm-mm.
Look, I mean, I'm not going to pretend like it's a...
But I never went to Panama City as a kid. I didn't go to Panama City until we got to college.
Yeah.
And at that point, we weren't really eating.
Yeah, only alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much. We'd run to Taco Bell or Subway.
Yeah, I very rarely went to Panama City, but I do remember the time I did. We went to Angelo's, and I'm not going to pretend like it's a gourmet steak, but it's just a fun environment.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of...
yeah. Western Sizzling.
Yeah,
which
is exactly what it was.
I don't know if y'all had Western Sizzling or if that was just an Anniston thing.
No.
Oxford.
I was going to say Quincy's. We had a Quincy's.
Was the same thing.
So you couldn't just cut it with a.
Oh, it came out with a little plastic thing telling you what your temperature was.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure at Angelo's they did that. I know Quincy's and Western Sizzling did.
Yeah.
The little
pink, blue.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, salad rolls, baked potato and a steak. $14.
Yeah.
Your favorite iceberg lettuce. That's all
Iceberg
they've
lettuce.
got, right?
It was the atmosphere, though. They had the big bull outside, and every kid wanted to go see the big bull. I mean, it's just a landmark. I don't know it's a great meal, but it's a landmark. There's a lot better meals down there.
I'm with you, LT, though, and Brownie. The older you get, the more you appreciate those times when you didn't have money. Just some great moments.
Hey, I'm telling you, you look at this schedule. How interesting is it going to be if Texas is 3-2 with that third loss? We've never seen a college football playoff team a third loss on October 11th.
Yeah, but you have them Ohio State, I can see.
I'm just playing this by what the numbers are going to be.
You have them losing to Florida to get to 3-2 going to the Oklahoma game.
That's not crazy. At Florida?
Texas is going to be a 3.5-point favorite in Gainesville. The world will be all over Texas with one loss.
Oh, what'd you say, 3.5?
Yep.
Yeah, night game. It's not set yet, but it will be a night game in Gainesville.
That
That'll
place
be a
will
primetime
be
game.
insane.
Oh, are you kidding? Especially if Florida finds a way to win at LSU. Now, if Florida finds a way to win at LSU, which would be a very, very difficult, that's a tall task because they're probably a 5 or 6 point dog at LSU.
Yeah.
Florida, night game, Tiger Stadium. But if they do that and they come back to Gainesville having won a top 10 game at LSU, you won't be, the atmosphere at the Swamp will be unlike it's been since the
Still
Meyer
think
days.
it's better if Florida loses that game to LSU. For their
And so
chances
coming
of
on,
beating Texas.
being more desperate. Yeah, I see.
Michelson Laser Vision brings us the viewing menu, a little entertainment talk here, and then back to college football. We'll break down what Pate said about the playoffs. They're starting over after a bad meeting yesterday, the discussion, and a lot more college football to get to. But Michelson Laser Vision to the viewing menu.
205-969-8100, the number that I called back in 2003. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. 2015 vision, better than 2020. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. They are going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation, 0 to lose, to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
We got a couple new streaming releases today. First off, we've got a new Prime series called We Were Liars. The Sinclairs are American royalty known for their good looks, old money, and enviable bond. After a mysterious accident changes Cadence Sinclair's life forever, everyone, including her group of friends, seem to be hiding something. I don't know if it'll be good. It kind of looks like Pretty Little Liars. That ran on ABC Family forever, if you guys remember that.
Yeah, I remember the name and the series. I never saw it.
Yeah, I remember nothing about that show. I remember that it existed.
I only remember the commercials. I never watched it.
Okay.
We've also got another new Prime series. This time it's a true crime documentary. It's called Rom-Con. Who the F is Jason Porter? And it's basically about the sort of dating scam we see so often in trash stories where a Toronto real estate broker named Heather Rovett has this perfect relationship with a guy named Jace, and she discovers that his name is Jason Porter, a convicted felon with a history of romantic fraud. Connecting with other victims, Heather transforms from heartbroken lover to determined investigator, risking everything to expose his pattern of manipulation and seek justice. So, if you've already finished The Mortician or already caught up with that, you got another true crime documentary to watch.
I can't find any of those.
Yeah. Mortician, and I told Melton this yesterday, really good first 2 episodes. That 3rd episode didn't stick, but it's worth the watch just to see how despicable this guy would be on the board of, he would have a seat on the board of the island.
He's on the board. He's there. Yeah.
Watch it.
He's the HOA.
And finally, on AMC, 7 p.m. tonight, Brown, you can finally watch Die Hard.
Finally, it's available?
Yeah.
AMC tonight.
It's so hard to watch.
I'm doing trivia with Lansing.
Yeah. So I watched last night, me and Jack checked out Echo Valley. It's a new Apple movie with Julianne Moore and Sydney Sweeney. I will say to Dunaway's point on Sydney Sweeney, she plays not even a recovering drug addict. She's just a drug addict. They have made her look as bad as you can make Sydney Sweeney. She's got acne. She's got no makeup. She hasn't washed her hair in like 10 days. I mean, they're doing everything they can to make her look bad.
She probably has acne in real life. You just never see
She's
that.
just not wearing makeup.
Just never see that.
Yeah, but I mean, she's able to cover that up in real life and get incredible skincare with her money.
Yeah. That is the viewing menu brought to you by our friends at Michelson, lanceslock.com. We got a couple of College World Series baseball games today. Maybe the Yankees will score a run. You can bet on that in Vegas today. All that at lanceslock.com. And then the NBA Finals continue tomorrow night at lanceslock.com.
Nice 4-1 for you last night at lanceslock.com, including that under that we never should have had to sweat. Three goals in the first, first 55 minutes and then 3 goals in the final 5 minutes. Still got the under last night, a nice 4-1. Jump on board, win with us. More winners in Major League Baseball available today at lanceslike.com. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Services. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming Alabama basketball painting, Buzzer Beater. Closing out the regular season, Alabama and Auburn faced off in a top 10 matchup. With less than 1 second remaining in overtime and the game tied at 91, Mark Sears launched a 15-foot floater that sealed the Tide's victory. Visit DanielMooreArt.com and see the artist's preliminary sketch of this historic Bama win. And take advantage of special pre-production pricing for Buzzer Beater.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hour number 2 of the show as we continue on. Show number 976 together. on this platform. 66 days away from week 0. Florida was our team earlier in our 40 and 40 countdown at number 15. Just 14 more shows after this one, and we'll be covering SEC Media Days in Atlanta as all that continues on. Josh Pate in the first hour, wherever you get our podcasts, including Apple and Spotify. Turn on those automatic downloads and enjoy those. That helps us out tremendously. Also, when you like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up on YouTube and TikTok or wherever you're getting us today, thanks for being along for the ride. LTD and be with you. All right, before we get to the college football playoff discussion, what Pate said there, and a lot more to get to, the show being brought to you by our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living, having the best summer ever thanks to our friends at Way to Wellness. Lost a lot of weight here, shirtless at the pool every day, fantastic. Aplanforme.com, the website, aplanforme.com. Your journey to healthy living. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation with Leslie and the board-certified team is absolutely free. Go by there and find out different ways they can help you. That includes injection therapies, protein bars, meal plans. They've got a variety of different ways to help you out. Get all the details right now. Way to Wellness, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. Okay, so I go to bed last night. I start seeing this story about 9, then it's 10, 11. When I'm going to bed about midnight, starting over is the phrase that is popping up after the college football commissioners got together and started discussing the impending deadline of December 1st for the 2026 playoff plan. Not this year, but the future after this contract is up. And at one point, the SEC and the Big Ten, who have control now, the power to make this decision, were side by side. 4 automatic qualifiers, like Pate was saying, for the SEC, for the Big Ten, each with 4, then 2 for the ACC, 2 for the Big 12, 1 for the Group of 5, maybe 1 for Notre Dame is out there if they qualify for it, which would be most years. If needed a wild card, if Notre Dame didn't meet the criteria, and that's how we do the playoffs. And then something changed on the SEC side. Leading into Destin at the SEC meetings, and then while at Destin, all of a sudden the SEC folks, led by their coaches, were 5+11 fans. Just the top 16 with 5 automatic qualifiers and 11 at larges. I'm with Pate 100% on this. Let's add value, more value to the regular season. Let's don't damage it at all. Let's make the conference races more important. It will damage the out-of-conference games. It will. Texas, Ohio State will mean nothing at that point because we're only playing for the top 4 or top 6 spots, really, to become a automatic qualifier in the SEC. So I could go play Texas and Ohio State, lose that game, and it would not matter.
Yeah, the implications mean nothing, but still, you know, the out-of-conference games right now, if it's a crap out-of-conference, if it's South Florida and Florida, nobody cares about it. Yep. But it's still going to be a great brand game. It's still going to be something that when you're on your couch, you're like, oh, I cannot wait to see this kick.
That's right.
I mean, I would agree with all those things. I would also, though, see if this makes sense what I'm about to say. I think we have made assumptions in the past about what certain playoff systems will do to certain games, and we've been wrong with some of those assumptions too, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I think we've got to be careful of saying, well, if we were to cut it back to 8, if we were to expand it to 16, it's going to do this or this or this to this regular season game. I think in some of those assumptions I've made, I've been wrong, where I've thought it's going to be something and it ends up not being that.
Now, I've got to change my palate, but when Alabama was going to play Oklahoma, I know they were still in the playoff race, but in my heart, I didn't feel like they were a playoff team before they even played Oklahoma.
But they were.
Yeah.
I mean, they were in the playoffs.
They were going to be in the playoffs.
Were they deserving?
I don't know. Oklahoma and Auburn,
yeah.
But I didn't feel like they were a playoff quality team watching them play football. Now, that's because I hold that in such high esteem because of what I have seen in the playoff era before last year, before the 12-team playoff.
But
I've got to adjust that in my palate.
Well, it's much like your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You knew late in the season
be careful when you put Tampa Bay in your mouth here now. I don't want to.
But what he's about to say is true.
It is true.
They were going to
really
win the NFC South. They were going to be in the playoffs, but you never envisioned them as being a team that could win the Super Bowl. So, you know, as this thing grows and gets bigger and bigger, it becomes more NFL-like. So, yeah, you're going to have to get the appetite for 3-loss teams that maybe you believe have no chance of winning a championship or don't look like playoff teams, but as you expand, somebody's got to fill the 12 teams or 16 teams ultimately.
I just always, when we start talking about the impact of the playoff, the Alabama-Oklahoma game is a great example, but to me the best example is Ole Miss Florida. Like, that was Ole Miss in Florida. That game, I would have watched it. It would have been, bad loss Lane Kiffin right there, man. You lose at Florida. That's big for Billy Napier. But it had so much more on the line than just that. That late in the year, that was a November game. And, man, that fourth quarter, you're on the edge of your seat because you know Ole Miss was literally playing for their lives right there.
Yeah. Now times that by 2. Now you've got, in the system that a lot of people like Pate are for, you've got 8th place, 7th place, 6th place SEC teams fighting to be in the top 6. You've got 1 and 2 fighting not to have to play in 6 versus 3, 5 versus 4. They're fighting to be 1 and 2, play for the SEC championship in Atlanta to where they're automatically in. They'll play for a championship, but both will go. One slip up, you're not comfortably in the playoffs like you would be in the 5+11 model. You're playing 3, hosting 6. You don't want to play in that game. That's a any given Saturday I'm out of the playoff game. So there's a lot of games still in play all the way until rivalry weekend.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, the biggest thing I was wrong on is thinking the expanded playoff would diminish regular season games. I think it's done the opposite. It's made more regular season games matter. You know, games played by 3 or 4 teams aren't the only ones that matter. Again, Ole Miss, Florida is an example of that. Alabama, Oklahoma is an example of that. Miami at Syracuse. Heck, I remember sitting there watching Miami at Syracuse. Don't even know if I would have had that game on.
Yep.
That was a good game late. Don't even know if I had that game on. But Miami,
you're right, man. You're absolutely right. There were more games last year that I felt like were meaningful because there were more spots open.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Miami, Syracuse, in a normal world, that was on Rivalry Saturday, if I remember correctly, right? Because Clemson had just beaten South Carolina. South Carolina had just beaten Clemson, and you're sitting there thinking Clemson can still backdoor into the college football playoff even with this loss, but Miami's got to beat Syracuse, and then boom, right there, Miami beats Syracuse. Like, Rivalry Saturday, there's almost no chance I'm watching Miami, Syracuse. I'm watching Iron Bowl, Clemson, South Carolina, Texas A&M, Ohio State, Michigan. I'm watching those games on Rivalry Saturday, but you let the playoff expand, and Miami, Syracuse all of a sudden had a ton of meaning.
The only thing that's not going to have meaning is championship weekend.
I know, that's the thing.
The
I think
5 and 11, you might as well get rid of the conference championship games.
That's right, but unless we do the model that Pate was talking about.
I don't like that model,
That's
though.
a fantastic Saturday.
Okay. Set it up again for those that missed the end.
But 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock.
Right.
You've got 5 at 4. 2:30.
This is SEC, 5 and 4,
and Big Ten. Yeah. You got them going on at the same time.
Yep.
They're at the same time.
One's on Fox and one's on ESPN.
You got 2 playoff games going on at the same time.
Yeah.
5 versus 4 in the Big Ten, 5 versus 4 in the SEC. And then they'll probably do it differently in the Big Ten because of the big noon kickoff. Then the 2:30 window, you got 6 at 3. And then in prime time, you got the SEC and the Big Ten championships,
but in that model,
why do you want to be that 3 in the SEC?
That's tough, and that's what I told you.
You don't want to be that 3. You're fighting for the 1 and 2.
But that's what I told you.
I know, but if you're that 3 and you lose, you're out. If you
That's
just
right.
got the 5+11, you're guaranteed a spot.
And that's what I told you after. I think Klatt was it Klatt or Pate was the first one to mention this on the show?
Klatt was the first one to mention it.
Okay, so Klatt, the first time he mentioned it on the show,
I actually think we told Pate about it.
I think you're right. The first time Klatt mentioned it on the show, somebody in the SEC stratosphere said, "Hey, I saw that Klatt interview. I don't hate the idea, but I can tell you who does hate it: SEC coaches."
Yeah.
I was like, "Really? They don't want the?" He said, "The 5-4 could happen. The 3-6. There's not a coach in the SEC or an AD in the SEC that's going to sign up for being the 3 seed." And still having to play another game to work your way.
No chance.
They've played an entire season to be the 3.
They're 10-2 at that point.
And now you're making them play a one-and-done game to get in. They're not going to sign up for it.
Then be 1 or 2.
Well, but sometimes
or go coach in a different league.
This is the point I made. Sometimes you are 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And you've just lost some weird tiebreaker that knocked you. That's what sucks.
You could have 10-2, 10-2, 10-2.
Lance, you could have 11-1, 11-1, 11-1. One of them's getting left out.
Yep.
And that 1-11-1 that gets left out, now all of a sudden they're in a one and done. You're like, I just went 11-1 in the SEC, and I'm in a one and done.
Go to the NFL though. Who has to come every year to my poorly Tampa Bay Buccaneers for 5 straight years who've won their division? The best wild card team.
But that's
has
different
to come
because you're
play
already
us.
in. You're
has to come play us.
You're already in the postseason at that point.
Well, this would be the postseason technically. This is a playoff. It's an elimination game.
Yeah, but if you're the 5 automatic qualifier, you've got one spot at the SEC. How many of those 11 are going to go to the SEC anyway?
Well, a lot.
Yeah,
but
so you're still going to get.
How many of those November games are going to be meaningless now?
Oh, I don't know. I think there's more meaningful games. Back to Oklahoma, Alabama last year.
Alabama would easily be in, even after that loss. There's no impact to that loss at that point. They're easily in the playoffs.
At 16, they are, yes.
Yeah.
Is there a chance?
Easily in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And there's no pain. There's no pain to the losses anymore.
I just cannot imagine being back to your point, 11-1 and losing a one-game situation to not even get into the postseason.
This may be as dumb a question as it sounds in my head.
How big of an upset is that, though?
What?
6 upsetting 3.
Because that does
it's on campus, obviously.
That dilutes the regular season a little bit. Because you can be 11-1 in the regular season, and then one game is a 3-6. Not even in the postseason, you're out.
At some point, you're going to play an elimination game.
In the postseason, though.
Yeah, that technically is. It's after your schedule. You're into the championship Saturday. That's not a scheduled game. It's postseason.
Is there a chance? You guys may know the answer to this, and it may be a dumb question. It kind of sounds dumb in my head, but I'm a dumb guy anyway. Is there a chance you could end up with 3 8-0 teams in the Southeastern Conference at the end of the year?
I think you can only end up with
probably.
2.
You think you can only be 2?
I think it's
that
2.
Enough teams play.
I could find you 3 right now, I think.
I don't know. I was sitting here just thinking through it.
I think it's 2.
Well, because that was going to be my example of the 3 playing 6. Like if you had 3 8-0s and you have to have a tiebreaker to get 2 of them in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Now I've gone 8-0 and you're making me play.
Yeah, see, you guys are using 11-1, but it's really the conference at that point. But I think it's 2. I think it's 2.
Okay. But mathematically, I can only end up with 2 8-0 teams.
I think that is the case. I would go 99%.
I'll text Greg Sankey. You think Sankey knows just off the top of his head?
Yeah. Okay, LSU could be undefeated. Mm-hmm. Texas could be undefeated. I just need to find one
LSU
more.
and Texas don't play?
Nope.
Yep. Now you got to find somebody that doesn't play LSU or Texas.
Yep. There's got to be somebody that doesn't play LSU or Texas that's not named Kentucky.
Yeah. I think there's enough crossover in the
well,
schedules.
the problem is if you're going to probably play this, you're going to get down to like a Vandy or Kentucky.
I've already got it. That was quick. Tennessee.
Tennessee does not play Texas
LSU
or LSU?
Nope.
And LSU doesn't play Tennessee. LSU doesn't play Texas.
Nope.
Texas doesn't play Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. So LSU, Tennessee, and Texas sitting there at 8-0.
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there. Auburn doesn't play either of them either.
Okay, so we got
there's
4.
Auburn, yeah.
The Tennessee and Auburn don't play, so there you got 4 8-0s.
Now
That's a problem.
do it. Now do it.
That's a problem.
Now do the Pate system.
Yeah.
I got 4 8-0s.
Okay.
So you're going to let just some
now we've added value to the out of conference.
Because that's how the tiebreaker would work. You would just put your highest ranked
how I
teams.
would do it.
Your highest ranked teams and whatever standings or rankings you're using there in Atlanta, and you see based on the rest.
Thank you. Solving the one problem I had. There you go. You solved it.
But see, but again, that's how college, the stupid college scheduling can kill you. Because let's say that happened this year, and Florida State's a good example. Florida State's coming off, national championship game when I scheduled them.
Yep.
Or they're coming off an undefeated season where their quarterback gets hurt when I scheduled them. That doesn't help me a whole lot right now. But, boy, when I scheduled it, that was a good game.
Yeah, and if I'm the SEC, I'm getting mine. I don't want an 8-0 team losing to a 6-2 regular season. That diminishes it. That 6-2 gets in over the 8-0.
Yeah.
I'll give you
still an SEC team.
Hey, and I'll give you.
But that's what I'm saying. The SEC is going to get theirs anyway. So let's really make the regular season matter.
And I'll make an opposite example. Now you're rewarding a team, potentially, that scheduled SMU when SMU was some middle-of-the-road Group 5 program. Now when I scheduled, that's what they were. Now they're a Power 4 program that just went to the playoffs.
No, I'm gonna factor in.
You were scheduling what you thought was an easy win, and you're going to benefit from that. Whereas I'm scheduling what I thought was going to be a tough opener, and I'm getting an easy win.
I'm gonna credit Texas with one loss out of conference to Ohio State. I'm gonna have them ranked higher than Auburn, who maybe beat Baylor on the road, who's 8-0, and didn't play somebody the quality of Ohio State. I'm gonna have to judge in that Ohio State loss. How is that game played compared to Auburn playing Baylor?
Yeah.
Who could be okay, could not be okay. I'm not just going to look at the loss column. It's tough. It's tough however you do it because there's not just 30 teams, 32 teams that you have to worry about. Interesting discussion. Go hear what Pate said on our podcast and on our YouTube channel, all broken down for you. And on social media at Next Round Live. Like, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up. The show being brought to you by our friend Dr. B. Wonderful dude right there helping LT out.
Yeah, Dr. Beckenstein, best in the business. You start thinning out, this is the guy you need to call. It happened to me 4 years ago. I asked around. Everybody said, Dr. B is the guy you need to go see. 205-319-0316. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use his experience, advanced training, and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Speaking of the testing, T3's got that new test. It's easy, painless, affordable, takes seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. You pick and choose which agents you want. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money and critical time while you're losing hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Go see Dr. B and that great staff. Find out what will work for you. 205-319-0316. Tell them the Next Round sent you. For more information, t3hair.net.
And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Stay on top of your health today with our friends at UCA. 16 great locations, professional urologists standing by, 35 of them with an unbelievable work ethic to keep you healthy as you go from your 20s to your 30s and 30s to 40s and so on. UrologyCentersAlabama.com, UrologyCentersAlabama.com. Kidney stones to prostate health, vasectomies, everything in between there. Men will help you with early detections and anything you need right there. It is all at Urology Centers of Alabama, 205-930-0920 to schedule an appointment. UrologyCentersAlabama.com. Brownie.
Jeremy goes back to a question Lance asked earlier as we were talking about the Florida Gators, our preview team today, and he says, check out 2019 Auburn. They opened the season against number 11 Oregon, a game they won. And
credit Auburn.
And finished in the Oregon finished in the top 10 that year. They lost at Florida, who was number 10 at time of loss. Florida finished in the top 10 that year. They lost at number 2 LSU, who eventually won the national championship that year. They lost to number 4 Georgia, who finished number 4 that year. And they beat number 5 Alabama in the Iron Bowl, who finished number 8 that year. Yep. 5 games against top 10 teams for Gus and the 2019 Auburn Tigers.
Yeah,
it's a tough schedule.
That's a really tough schedule.
Well,
Jeremy, by the way, I'll give him credit. He is a guy that I can remember this even back in the radio days when this happened. For some reason, I was watering my sod today. And not a euphemism, literally was out watering some new sod I've got in my yard. And I was thinking about, for some reason, the day Gus Malzahn got fired. And it happened during Dolphins-Bengals game. And I'm like, I got the email from our guy, Kirk Sampson, there's been a change in the leadership at Auburn football. It's like, holy crap. But I remember Jeremy being one of those guys like, Auburn has screwed this up, and he's a big Auburn fan. And I'm like, come on, dude. We call him 4-loss Gus. He goes, I get it. But the guy was consistent. And you know who's been right? Jeremy. They have been a shell of their football program since Gus Malzahn. So I will credit Jeremy for being right.
I'll back it off. I never thought the Harsin thing would work out. Hugh will see. I think this is a pivotal year. But if Gus never would have left,
they wouldn't have been as bad as they've been.
They're in a better situation.
Does college football have an officiating problem? The Athletic looks into that. Do you think college football has an officiating problem?
I don't know. I think every league has one to some degree.
Did you see the blown call? My Rays did not have a challenge left, and it laid down a perfect bunt. And
not even close.
I mean, the ball, Brownie, is as far from my hand, outreach first baseman hand, to your head right now is where the ball is when the Rays guy is touching the base. That's how far the ball is out of the glove. And he's called out, and we don't have a challenge.
And by the way, that's not even tie goes to the runner.
Yeah.
It always seems like you're getting the benefit of tie going to the runner, and it was, I don't know, trying to figure out his angle on that. I don't know how you could get that call wrong. Yeah. And even the umpire behind the plate's got to get involved.
Now, I don't put past, we're humans that just mentally, he's doing this 162 days in the summer, and he may have had a bad night drinking last night or eating. He may be having relationship problems. He may have been
the umpire.
He may have been daydreaming. Yeah,
All right, it's just such a routine call.
We daydream during this show all the time.
There's no doubt, yeah.
Okay, so you have things that are going on. There's got to be a way to overturn that, right?
But
that's a Major League Baseball umpire on a call that your grandfather, who's helping at a T-ball league over in Avondale, could make that call.
So the home plate guy, okay, so my gosh, Scott's got his still photo
that's it
of
right
it.
there.
Yeah, I mean
that's not even close. So they called that guy out.
He's out, and there's no challenge. There's nothing you can do.
Kevin Cash went nuts.
And the home plate umpire can't overrule that?
He can, yeah.
But he's not going to show his guy up.
They never do it. They don't show him up.
I mean, that's as bad as it gets right there.
Yeah. So when we talk about college officials, that's Major League Baseball umpires.
That's right.
NFL guys miss them.
Strong union.
Yeah, strong union. NFL guys miss them too, but the NFL is the best of the best in college football. They pull up from the college ranks to the NFL, and those guys get right. Steve Shaw in the Athletic Story says the correct call rate in college football is 98%.
Oh, that's pretty damn good.
That's as humans, and not full-time job, but even full-time job, 98%. You're not going to get better than 98%.
No. Back to that real quick. There is nothing wrong. Like if we're umping a game, hey, let's just, we've talked about it before. Somebody's got bad breath, let them know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like if it's an egregious call, get it right. Call me out, and nobody's ever talking about it again. Like quickly, you might be embarrassed for the moment, but it ain't making SportsCenter if you overturn that call.
Texas, Georgia last year, they bring up big game, huge game, horrible call. They ended up getting it right, though, right? They did.
But it was the mechanism by which they got it right that everybody got wound up about.
That's right. The procedure to get it right. That crew did not referee a game the next week.
Right.
The SEC does not usually send out a release on judgment calls.
That's right.
But that crew did not referee next week, most likely suspended for a week.
Mm-hmm.
That was a huge game, bad call. The following weeks, trash on the field, Ohio State, Clemson, LSU.
Yeah, it became a thing every week.
Every week. Over a bad call that they eventually got right. They didn't do it correctly, but they eventually got it right. We're in an era with replays and stuff. It makes everybody look like. I tell you what I was going to do. I was going to do this, honest to goodness. I had some spare time this year. I was going to umpire back in the spring some Little League and high school games. I used to do it. I was going to do it, and I had a friend of mine say, what are you going to do? Why would you do this? And I said, I had a little extra, money to burn through, something to do in the afternoon, stay in shape, help out, give back to what helped me get started. He was like, everybody's got a phone now. People like Forrester have video cameras running on everything. They'll be able to, every call you make, Jim, they'll slow it down to slow-mo, and you miss it, and then you're going to get blasted on social media. God, you suck on the radio and at umpire.
Can you imagine how depressed he'd be coming in here?
I was so beat up about missing it.
8-year-old lost 5-4, and you missed the call.
Really, he was out at the plate, and I called him safe. Jim,
replay showed I was wrong.
I got sucked into a TikTok, the algorithm. I watched one video a little too long, so it started serving up all these coaches and parents that go nuts in travel ball umpires.
It's insanity.
There's not enough money in the world to put up with those parents.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids are out there playing, and every parent thinks their kid's going to be a major leaguer. They've all got this.
That's why they need people like me to put them back in their place.
Every kid now, and I don't know if Scott sees this in softball, but every kid now, they've got the oven mitts that they slide with. Yeah. Every kid's got the elbow brace. Every kid's got, Scott, they got it all, man. It's
very specialized.
It is.
It's when I would go watch Forrester's daughter play, I was like, God, they really need better umpiring. I should get out there and help out the folks.
I think you should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it, Jim.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to do it because
no, you did it before. I've never umpired before. You've done it.
I've done it.
Did you? All right. Did you think you were better at calling balls and strikes or calling the field?
No,
I liked being in the field. I did not like
being
behind the plate.
One call a night.
I told this to our buddy David Walls last night at poker. We were sitting next to each other, and we were talking about bad call here, and the Braves game was on, the College World Series was on. I told him, and I said, he agreed with me. I think I can call balls and strikes better standing behind the pitcher than I can squatting behind the catcher. You agree with me or disagree with me?
You can't. Can you tell where it crosses the plate well enough?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Just as good as I can squatting by the catcher. And you know what I'm less likely to get fooled by?
Framing the pitch.
The framing of the pitch by the catcher.
Yeah.
They get so good at that, even at the high school and college
Apparently, I saw an article.
But you're more likely to affect play when a liner comes up the box get you in the shin.
It's just one more guy out there like the first, second, and third base umpire.
Apparently, the Coastal Carolina catcher is elite at framing pitches. I read an article about.
He's good.
Yeah, Scott,
really
did you
good.
see that?
Oh, he's damn good.
Yeah, they were showing like in the Auburn series how many balls he turned into strikes by framing pitches. I mean, apparently the kid is the best in the college game at framing pitches.
So obvious when you're standing behind the mound.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You see the move. Like the umpire. Yeah. I mean, the guy behind the plate can't see the glove.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, you're right about that.
That's right. I think it'd be easier to call balls and strikes from behind the mound where the pitcher is. And
just change the game.
I'm just telling you, it's the way it should be
done.
done.
Tyler says you were a soccer referee, Tyler?
Yep, from age 14 to 16 or 17.
You were doing Boosa games?
Yep, I was doing Boosa, Vestavia. I was doing tournament games. They sent me out to like Trussville, and Altamont.
I'm watching my nephew play at Mountain Brook this year. I went to 4 games, and I went to a couple of club games in the summer. Impossible sport to referee.
It really is, and you've only got one guy. Like my daughter played 2 Boosa games this summer or this spring without a referee. The referee just didn't. They didn't have one, of the ref didn't show up. So one assistant does one half, and the other assistant does the other half. But it's only one guy out there, and you can't call soccer.
Are you just
with
looking
one
at
guy.
yellow and red cards?
Oh, they don't card anybody.
I've had to card people before for like in tournaments and stuff.
Oh, really?
So what are controversial calls?
Well, you're primarily looking for handball, right?
I mean,
the tackle.
That's not a card unless it's done intentionally.
No. But I mean, that's what you're looking for, to give a free kick or something, right?
Yeah. You're looking for that. You're looking for fouls.
Yeah, illegal tackles.
Yeah. If you're on the sides, you're looking for offsides. Like you see the guy running on the sideline with the flag.
Well, your flag guy is that guy, right?
Well, you don't have that at most levels of Boosa. I mean, you got one dude out on the field. You don't have any flag guys.
Well, at a certain level, you get to
the flag guy.
Have them when you get about I'd say 13 or so. But
do you ever have a parent jump you?
I've had a few parents like threaten to like hurt me in the parking lot and like wish death upon me.
Yeah,
they didn't realize you were carrying.
That's right. You're packing heat.
So officiate. Go read the story at The Athletic. Does college football have an officiating problem? They mention in the story that when we get maybe into the future, that it's up for discussion anyway, that the college football playoffs may no longer be officiated by a different conference. Like if the SEC was playing the Big Ten, they'd have ACC officials or Big 12 officials. That maybe in the future we would go to a blended crew from different conferences, basically an all-star crew. Would that be something, crews that never have worked together before, but they've graded out throughout the year as the best of the best? Almost like what we do in the NFL with the playoffs and the Super Bowl. They wouldn't be Lance's crew anymore. It wouldn't be a whole Big 12 crew or a whole ACC crew. It'd just be the best official that graded out from each conference. Would that be something that interests you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean
it's a good pat on the back for those officials.
I didn't like it when we were growing up and Alabama would play at Penn State and Keith Jackson would tell me, we got a split crew. Half the crews from the SEC are referee and the rest of the crew from the Big Ten. Well, that wouldn't be Penn State, but you know what I'm saying. You remember what I'm saying.
Why did that bother you, though?
Because I felt like
the SEC
was going to hedge towards Alabama. The Big Ten was going to hedge toward Penn State. Or even worse, they were going to go out of their way to show they weren't partial and not call something obvious. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just think there's just too much.
When I watch the SEC crews on the road at another conference calling an SEC game like Texas, Ohio State, if it's an SEC crew in Columbus, I never feel like the SEC is getting an advantage of having that crew.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, it cuts both ways. They could either, be biased, or they could go so far out of their way to show they're not biased that you're not even getting obvious calls. I don't like that. I don't mind a mix of all-star guys. I'm fine with that. But I think the split crews, I think that died in the 80s, and I don't think that'll ever come back.
Yeah. A lot of people just want to get rid of conference affiliations. I don't know if we'll ever get to that, but like we do in basketball, that these guys call CUSA games, then they're calling an SEC game, then they're calling
every night, by the way.
Yeah. All right. Show being brought to you by a couple of great folks. One of them, our friends at Lags Eatery. Great breakfast option there. You want something, pile on that breakfast plate. It's huge if you go to Lags.
And starting tomorrow, open at 6 a.m. They go all the way till 2 a.m. Tonight goes till midnight. You can get breakfast, lunch, dinner, late night. But starting tomorrow night, Thursday, Friday through Saturday, second and third shifts, you're looking for that late night meal, you can get it at Lag's Eatery. Nostalgic brand from the 70s and 80s over in Homewood. Now in Avondale, located conveniently between Avondale and Cahaba Brewing. Stone's throw away from Mom's Basement. Delicious burgers, fantastic sides like those tater tots, of course, cold beer as well. Get in, see Eric, Justin, all the fine folks. Lag's Eatery, tell them the next round sent you.
And our friends at New Life Art, they bring you all the works from Daniel A. Moore. Just go to their website, danielmooreart.com, danielmooreart.com. Look at all those great moments in college football history. Wouldn't you love one of those or two of those or three of those hanging on your sports room wall? Oh, man, it's never too late to celebrate Dad with those great pieces of work. DanielMooreArt.com. That includes the legend Nick Saban and those great-looking championship trophies from Tuscaloosa. Use the promo code TNR and enjoy the great sports moments in your life. DanielMooreArt.com. DanielMooreArt.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers. Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
All right, Auburn fans, I want you to become a member of thebarnauburn.com and join in on the fun. Whether it's recruiting discussions, off-season chatter, or the latest Auburn athletics news, we've got it all. Get $25 off your annual subscription when you sign up for your account at thebarnauburn.com today. War Eagle.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey friends, if you're looking to expand your business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us at sales@nextroundlive.com to be part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential consumers on our ever-expanding platform. Let the Next Round help take your business to the next level. Get more information by emailing us at sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation, 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you, 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Do you need some refreshed college wear to represent your team this year? Shop Roback's Game Day collection that includes both Alabama and Auburn. From quarter zips to hoodies, Roback has it all. Get 20% off on us using code TNR20 at roback.com.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you on the next round. Our great Coca-Cola products up here. We love them so much. A little Dasani water. Throw a little Salt Life in there and enjoy the flavor.
What is that?
It's one of those electrolytes and salt.
Like Liquid IV?
Yeah, sort of. They're called non-sponsor, non-endorsed LMNTs.
Where you get it? Is it like a Publix or something?
I get it out of Maggie's purse.
He's looking for his balls.
Jim, the good news is your period won't be as severe this month. That's great.
The show really being brought to you by our friends at Bojangles. They bring you the tender moment of the day. I got one that's going to make you feel
old.
It's going to make you feel old today.
Crap.
Yeah.
No, who did I see? Somebody told me somebody's kid committed somewhere. And I was like, dadgummit, who was it? Was it Charles Woodson's kid? You told me
to
that.
Tennessee.
Yeah, but somebody...
Fulmer's grandson.
Yeah, he's visiting Tennessee. He had his Tennessee uniform.
There was another one, and I was like, I'm beyond feeling old now.
Elijah Wan's kid.
Yeah, I saw that
this week.
From sweet to heat, Bojangles has 7 sauces that will definitely add a little extra flavor to every bite. Nothing pairs better with sauces than hand-breaded tenders. So if you're looking for sweet, try honey mustard. Add some tang with barbecue. If you want some heat, try creamy buffalo or peach honey pepper. If you want smooth and creamy, house-made ranch, jalapeno ranch, or classic Bo sauce ready and waiting. So head to Bojangles and order some hand-breaded tenders with your favorite sauce today. It's Bo time. Dunaway going to make us feel old.
Man, if you're a Braves fan, I mean, you go back to Dale Murphy. You go back to Steve Bedrosian.
Bedrock.
Can you imagine having a Murphy and a Bedrosian on the same team? Yes, you can. Here is Dale Murphy and Steve Bedrosian with their grandkids.
I was about to say it ain't their kids.
Yeah.
On the same T-ball team.
This doesn't make me feel nearly as bad, though, because those dudes are old.
That is grandkids, though.
Their grandkids on their same T-ball team. We're in the 3 and the 7 there. Murphy and Bedrosian there. Pretty cool.
Hey, Braves have won 4 of 5. Mets have lost 4 straight.
Yeah, Yankees have lost 5 straight. Baseball continues on. The Mets losers last night. They blew one in Atlanta. Atlanta wins it in 10. They play again tonight in that contest. And we'll talk more Braves on the Pennant Grace tomorrow at 12:15.
You get a kid named Murphy, you don't even think he's Dale Murphy's kid, grandkid. You get a kid named Bedrosian, absolutely know. You're like, that's the only Bedrosian I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few names out there.
Yeah.
That you're 100%. Hey, this is Elijah Wan.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they called him Bedrock. Am I right about that? Steve Bedrosian was Bedrock.
He was. We'll get to a little Auburn and Alabama football discussion at the top of the hour. But Bret Bielema continues to take shots at the SEC. Let's go cut to Tyler. Get that ready. But give me the graphic that Diego Pavia said on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast for sure, because this will sort of set this up here. It was this. This is Diego Pavia, quarterback, Vandy, on playing in the SEC. You want to play with the best. You don't want to play with the Big Ten. You ignore those calls when he was talking about getting offers to transfer from Vanderbilt to go somewhere else. Again, he says you want to play with the best. You don't want to play with the Big Ten. You ignore those calls. Here's Bret Bielema responding to Diego Pavia, what he said about the Big Ten, and really back to what the SEC was throwing out back at the SEC meetings when Bielema commented on social media. He continues with Adam Rittenberg here defending his stance on the Big Ten.
I understand what he's saying, right? And he's regurgitating what's being said to him, I think, probably. Listen, the Big Ten, I grew up in this league, played in this league, was very successful at Wisconsin, but you know, my first bowl game, we beat an SEC team that I actually ended up working for later, right? I think on any given Saturday, anybody can get anybody, and that was what played out in the bowl game, right? And I know it was brought to my attention, right? There's no SEC returning team with 10 wins, if I'm not mistaken, and we got 3 in the league, right? So like, it's just kind of one of those moments where I think in the last 3 years of the evolution of college football with the portal, the NIL, it's created a level playing field that's never been seen before, and I think it's trending more that way than going back to the way. A lot of people want to live in the past and try to stay by the rules of the past, and I just don't see it a part of our future.
Bret Bielema, you like the way he's handling this offseason?
No, I don't. And look, I mean, the one flex they've got is back-to-back national champions in Michigan and Ohio State. But here are facts. In 11 years coaching in the Big Ten, he has averaged 8.5 wins. In his 5 years in the SEC, he averaged less than 6 wins. He was less than a bowl coach on average in the SEC, and he's winning rounded up to 9 games per year in the Big Ten. It's not the same.
Would you say the programs are comparable, Arkansas and Illinois?
Yes.
So that's a fair in your mind, a fair apples-to-apples comparison there?
Yeah, look, and I mean, his numbers are about the same at both. Wisconsin, I think Wisconsin and Arkansas are more similar.
Really?
I know it sounds crazy just because of Wisconsin's success recently, but
so it's hard to gauge because Wisconsin feasted on being in the Big Ten West, and Arkansas didn't in the SEC West.
Try to pull your SEC bias out of it.
Okay.
If you could have either the Wisconsin or Arkansas job, which job would you take?
The Wisconsin job.
I don't know.
It
seems like it's Arkansas is difficult Arkansas is difficult to recruit to, but you do have Texas and Oklahoma right there.
Now, Lance, I would tell you, Arkansas in the 60s and 70s was better than Wisconsin. Maybe ever was.
Now, Bielema had Wisconsin kicking.
Listen, when
Arkansas played number 1, number 2 for a national championship.
When I got to be Wisconsin in the Big Ten West, that was way better than me at Arkansas in the SEC West.
Yes.
You'll give me that. Now, both those things are dead. So it has even the playing field even more. But
I just know this. I mean, they're comparable jobs. Back to your point, Bielema has been a much better coach in the Big Ten than he was in the SEC. Yeah. He didn't do a bad job at Arkansas in retrospect because it is a difficult job. But if you just look at the numbers, and why doesn't somebody throw that at him? Hey, just real quick, pretty good sample size. In 5 years, you average 6 wins a year in the SEC. But you're averaging 8.5 wins at similar jobs.
Yeah, why is that? Why is that?
Yeah, why is that,
Brett?
I mean, that's pretty simple. Yeah. And one was before and one's after. It's not like you've become a better coach.
Yeah, and to Brown's point, he was placed in the SEC West when Nick Saban was there, when LSU was winning
Les
national
Miles
championships.
Was killing it,
I mean, it was not easy. Auburn always was good. I mean, it was tough. Mississippi State was better than it ever had been.
Damn more than Mississippi State.
I would say I don't believe him, and I like Bret Bielema. I think what it is I think he's got Big Ten bias.
Yeah,
I think he coached in the SEC, but he's like, man, we are right there. I played there. I've coached a lot longer.
Cut to the chase. Bret Bielema is trying to set the table for his Illinois team this year to be in the playoffs as a 10-2 team, maybe a 9-3 team. He's trying to set the table for Illinois to be in the playoffs. It's propaganda. It's all you get in news nowadays on your social media platforms from no matter where you are in the world. It's what everything is. You have to remind yourself that that's what you're looking at. That's what Bret Bielema is doing.
And by the way, more Illinois and Bret Bielema coming up in our 40 and 40.
At some point.
Yeah.
This week.
Let's see, that Thursday or Friday we get to Illinois. I would say, though, on the other side, a weird time for SEC people to be doing the victory lap is when the Big Ten has won back-to-back national championships. That is a weird time to be doing
and that's
all
what I said. That's his flex. That's what he should stand on right now.
I mean, I'm as SEC as anybody. The SEC, top to bottom, is a better conference. Normally, the SEC overall is a better conference. But I cannot ignore the fact that in the last 2 years, the Big Ten has won the national championship. And we put a lot of stock in that here in the SEC. We used to beat the drum and flex about it, and we should, but the Big Ten is the current holder of that right now.
Will somebody do me a favor and be prepared at Big Ten Media Days to actually throw these numbers at Bret Bielema?
You want to go up there?
I think it's fair. I do not want to go there. I would have loved to have gone there 5 years ago. It is in Chicago.
Yeah, I don't want to go now.
Maybe we need to tell our buddy Josh Pate that he needs to.
Yeah, maybe Pate can tee him up.
Marcelo will be there. We can get Marcelo to do it. A couple of other things to get to. Here at the top of the hour, we'll get back to college football at 11 o'clock with our spotlight today involving Auburn football. So stay with us in just a second. Show being brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors. One of them today is our friends at A+. Brownie, tell us about A+.
That is who redid the master bath in the Brown house. You can see much more, not just the before and after of my bathroom and Lance's bathroom and kitchen, but many more jobs that Brad Bell has done at AlabamaBathRemodels.com. That's AlabamaBathRemodels.com. Basically, when it came time to redo the master bath in the Brown house, the one we had was fine, but it's not what we wanted. We wanted it darker, a little more functional and updated. So Jennifer scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. Brad Bell is the guy she came away with, and I'm glad she did because Brad came to see us and said, all right, give me your vision. And we gave him the vision. He said, that's what we're doing. And he didn't try to sell us on something else. He did our vision. And Scott shows you the after pictures. You can see it's more updated, a little bit darker colors. That's what we wanted, right? That's what Brad's going to do for you. What he masters in is master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. Master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. It's not to say that that's the only thing he'll do, but it's where you're going to make your money back when you go to sell your home. 205-422-1758. 205-422-1758 or AlabamaBathRemodels.com.
And our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing, Greg from Pell City, will get on top of that roof and give you a free, no-cost roof inspection. That's what he'll do for you. 205-542-3531 or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. Locally owned for over 20 years, and he has a great relationship with the insurance provider. He's got a builder's license, can help you with that storm damage as well. Call that number, 205-542-3531, and just get that roof checked out today. Find out if the storms have caused a problem, lightning, or any of that. Full roof replacement, whatever, Greg will take care of it. Storm Restoration Roofing, Greg from Pell City on Facebook. Go and check him out. All right, basketball news. We've got the home and away matchups in the SEC. Those schedules have just dropped. We'll go Auburn first. They play Alabama both home and away, so that scripted A, not a big deal. They also play Arkansas home and away. And help me out, Forrester. Give me Forrester's mic. Ole Miss home and away. I think it's only 3 that you play both home and away.
Yeah, one's rotating and 2 are permanent, right?
Yeah. And then they get Florida at home. Advantage, defending national champs. 2 Final Four teams down there. Oh, that's away. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Oh, Orange is away. Oh,
yeah,
my
Orange
goodness.
is away.
Yeah, Orange is
Oh,
away. Yeah,
no.
they've
got to go to the national champions.
Yeah, Florida came here last year.
We get Bucky coming to Auburn.
Yep. On the away games, if you're listening, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi State, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. Got to go back to Knoxville with Alabama, Arkansas, and Ole Miss home and away. Kentucky comes to Neville. LSU comes to Neville. South Carolina, Texas A&M with Buckyball, and Vandy. Very doable home schedule there. I like the away games better than I do the home games. Am I wrong?
I was just, because you got to go to Florida. They're obviously going to be really, really good.
Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi State's good again.
Knew you were going to Alabama.
Yeah.
They won there last year, and Alabama won at Auburn.
Another gauntlet, says Auburn. Here's Alabama's home and away schedule. You know that they play both Auburn home and away. Help me out with the other ones here for us. Mississippi State, both home and away.
Tennessee.
And Tennessee, both home and away. So no 2 Kentuckys. So 2 Tennessees, 2 Mississippi States, and 2 Auburns. Home schedule, the Pigs come to Tuscaloosa. Kentucky comes to Tuscaloosa. Missouri comes to Tuscaloosa. South Carolina, Texas, and Texas A&M. Buckyball and Tuscaloosa as well. Away games, also at Florida.
You say.
Georgia, LSU, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, and Vandy. A lot of like schedules there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basketball. Not too far away.
Florida gets Alabama and Auburn in Gainesville. I want to see Florida's schedule now.
Almost like they're the national
I
champions.
know, well.
Getting the benefit of the doubt with those 2 top 11 teams coming to town. And then we'll make this today our Hemp Hill hot or cold moment. Do you like Hall of Fames?
I mean, growing up, I think we are way too loose where we let certain people in the Hall of Fame.
Do you think we have too many Hall of Fames?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know we have a sports mascot Hall of Fame?
I will guarantee I'll never visit it. Is there actually a brick and mortar?
I do not think there's a brick and mortar. I think this is conceptual and online as well.
San Diego Chicken's got to be number 1. He broke somebody's ribs.
Save it.
Okay.
We'll get to a new member of the Mascot Hall of Fame is in there. It is Ibis from the Miami Hurricanes. He is. My question is, what took so long?
What took so long? Sebastian was the.
Well, that's what it is.
Sebastian the Ibis. Yeah.
Sebastian the Ibis. Yeah. Mascot. He's now a Hall of Famer. He's part of this class that's going in. Also going in this class.
Well, if you're Miami, you got to hang on to something.
Yeah. Also going in on this class is Fred Bird at the St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay.
Seems like that would have already been in there. Blitz the Seahawk from Seattle. San Jose Sharkey, S.J. Sharkey, and Toro from the Houston Texans.
Yeah, this is dumb.
Man.
Yeah.
That seems like we're a little
Albie. You think Albie's in or out?
I mean, based on this, he's got to be in. If the San Jose Shark is in.
Yeah, well, it's all sports.
I know.
Yeah, but I didn't even know.
San Jose's only been around since 33 years.
I'm going to say Albie not in.
Albie already in.
Okay.
Does the Fighting Okra from Delta State belong?
Sure. Absolutely belongs. Yes.
Not
probably
in
not
yet.
in. No.
Not in yet.
Big Al.
Big Al. In or out?
Albie in. I'm going to say Big Al out.
Correct, Brownie. Albie in. Big Al out. Smokey in.
Yeah,
Big
those
Al
are your
out.
only two SEC representatives.
Let me just go ahead and tell you.
So what they do is teams that don't win championships, they
Wow.
they do. They put their mascots in.
One way to look at it,
a little
LT.
bit more exciting. I mean, go back to the others.
I like the way you're painting that picture there, LT. To hell with Pete Rose. Let's get Big Al into the Hall of Fame. How is Big Al not in the Hall of Fame? How many other elephant mascots do we have out there?
I think he's the only one. Or she. He.
They've
Maybe
got
it's she inside.
They've got Little Red in there, the inflatable one at the basketball games.
Who's Little Red?
From Nebraska.
Oh.
They've got Bucky the Badger in there. They've got the Nittany Lion in there.
That's a boring one, and it's dressed like Joe Paterno.
We're so politically correct when they put the gator in because Florida does
Yeah,
the
do they
stupid.
do both?
They don't have the gator in
Well,
yet.
you know they will.
Yeah.
They'll have to.
Mr. Met, in or out?
I'm
Should
going to
be
go
in.
Big Market. Mr. Met is in.
Yep.
And they don't win championships.
There you go. I can scroll through some of these.
Yeah.
Phoenix the Gorilla is in. Oh, okay, good. This is
I mean,
better.
it's
I've got
just
a
all teams
slideshow.
that don't win championships, honestly.
I know.
Yep. Some of these, I didn't even know the Black Hawk even had the Tommy the Hawk. Never even heard of that one.
Absolutely.
That's so boring. Look
Is that
at
the Oriole? And then the slam dunking gorilla. I mean, the guy slams dunk.
Oh,
He
he
slam
repels,
dunks in
too.
timeout.
I mean,
He's really good.
He does stuff.
I think he works hard.
The guy from the Nuggets is the one that's the best. There's the
Look-
famous chicken.
Yeah.
Look at Southpaw.
Yeah.
My guy.
Southpaw's in there?
Absolutely.
What is that, Scott?
This is a blob of nothing.
It's a green costumed character.
It's somebody that slept in a gutter too long outside of that stadium.
It's everybody trying to steal from the Philly Fanatic who's
It's got
in
a
there.
little bit of Oscar the Grouch to it.
Can I point out that Southpaw's throwing with his right hand in that picture? Is he throwing a ball?
That's valid.
Am I wrong about that?
I think
No,
he's-
you're
He's
correct.
just throwing deuces.
That's just a light.
Oh,
Brandon.
that's a light.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's just
Okay,
throwing
my bad.
deuces.
My bad. He's throwing deuces.
The Coyote's in there. Does the Coyote dunk?
I think the Coyote also dunks, yes.
Yeah. Smokey's in there. I mean, it's not, the dog is your
The
mascot.
Coyote's eyes.
The dog is your mascot. Smokey's not your mascot. That stuffed animal shouldn't even be on the sidelines in
Well,
Tennessee.
the real dog's also named Smokey, right?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's your mascot.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I don't pay attention to the stuffed one in Athens or in Knoxville. You've got real cool mascots. Don't use a stuffed one.
Yeah, the first mascot, if you do the rappelling and the jumping and
Yep.
Yeah,
you know,
Rocky.
jumping through flames, you can put those guys. But then the actual live mascot should be the one.
All right, there's a line right there. I have no problem with those three.
Oh, Rocky.
Rocky, the Philly Fanatic, and the Orange.
Otto the Orange.
Or Otto the Orange. I have no problem
Not
with
for
those
football,
three.
though. He's a basketball mascot.
He is a basketball
in my opinion.
mascot.
In my
Yeah, I
opinion,
agree.
yeah.
I love we had to get rid of Orange Men because we had to be politically correct, but it's named Otto.
Yep.
I mean, wouldn't you at least give it a Pat name, right?
I mean,
or Stacy?
the Nittany Lion. Come on.
Yeah, that's boring.
Yeah, and you're showing me a basketball picture to have him in the Hall of
Yeah.
Fame.
I'll tell you, the very last one in will be
The worst one is Little Red. An inflatable.
Yeah, it's an
thing.
inflatable. It's like a Halloween costume.
Yeah. Lucille. Have you ever heard of Lucille,
Nope.
the Giants mascot?
I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know half these mascots.
Yeah. It's a crappy Hall of Fame until you put Big Al in.
Very last one in will be the Kansas State one. That's the laziest mascot in all of sports.
Jackson DeVille. Come on.
Who's that?
The Jaguars.
Oh, Jackson DeVille. What a terrible
Wait, the wolf is the one that robbed
franchise
banks, right?
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is KC Wolf the one that robbed the banks?
No, I don't think so. I think that was a fan mascot.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
Yeah.
suckered
Yeah,
into
there's a
that
documentary on that guy.
Yeah.
I
Chiefs
watched
fanatic,
it so
Yeah.
something
bad.
like that.
Mascot Hall of Fame. All right, when we come back, our college football spotlight for the day. We'll get to that. That was our hot and cold. We're cold on that mascot list. Tell us about him, Bill.
205-229-2090. They were out at the house just a couple of days ago, had a plumbing issue. Whether you have the plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. Hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Put Big Al in.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
If you're looking to expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Hey, a new hour of the show right here on the Next Round as we roll on. Brownies popping tops on the one side of the table over here.
I just exploded a Diet Coke.
Way to go, man.
I knocked it over.
Did you just win the championship?
Yeah. I'm about to spray it all over Lance right now. No, I knocked it over on accident, and then it started spewing. And
so I picked up some of the Sprite Zero yesterday at the store.
Yeah,
and it was storming when I was getting out of the car, and so you open the back, and just kind of the angle, it falls out, and like they explode in like 7 or different 8 directions. So I pick up all of them. So I get home last night and I hear a loud explosion. I had run one over.
No. It's a loud sound for sure. Hey, this hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's world famous fried chicken. Before we get to our spotlight here, I want to tell you about Sterling and his crew on Highway 119 in Alabaster at champyschicken.com. Champyschicken.com. Chicken that's brined overnight, cooked to order, hand-cut chicken fingers, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. It is so good, and it's waiting for you, open for lunch right now. He's been doing it at the same location for over a decade. It is champyschicken.com. Champyschicken.com. Go see Sterling. Let's do the spotlight.
The College Football Spotlight.
The Shunnarah Spotlight brought to you by our guy, Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. They have been based in Birmingham forever, 24 years now, by the way. Headquartered right here in Birmingham. You know why? Because Alexander Shunnarah is a Birmingham guy. 150 lawyers now, 500 dedicated team members, and they've recovered more than $2 billion, maintaining Alexander's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. One thing he wanted to do: create a firm that could handle anything his community face. He has done just that. So when you need yourself an attorney, you find yourself in need of a trial attorney, Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com. Shunnarah.com.
Our spotlight today comes from our friend Brad Law at Village Vice on thebarnauburn.com, thebarnauburn.com. If Auburn wins at Baylor in week 1, it's the best road win for Auburn since fill in the blank.
I had to think about this one. Like, one didn't immediately come to mind.
2014 Ole Miss is mine.
I was going to go
a long way back.
I was going to go 2013 A&M.
That's even further way back.
2013 A&M, 2013 Georgia. Those are two big ones.
I didn't see the 2013 A&M. I never believed it until Manziel throws one away at the end of the clock.
Yep.
You just felt like, and that was that magical close to a season for Auburn. But you just always felt like A&M was going to win that game.
I wrote down 4.
Okay. Was that one of them?
2014 Ole Miss, 2013 Georgia, 2013 Texas A&M, and the comeback in 2010.
A lot of people answered Brad and made a case, and I'm going to pull this up to give you, I want to get the accurate rankings.
And I'm just saying those 4 are bigger than a win over Baylor.
Yeah.
So I don't know what compares to that. I think the Ole Miss game does in 2014 because that season ended up fizzling out at the end, right? After they beat Ole Miss, and they lose to Mississippi State, and then it sort of fizzled at the end.
What year was that? 14?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
14,
It fizzled at the end.
Yeah, they lost 4 or 5 to end the year.
Yeah. So I think a win for Baylor could be close to being that one. Will be nowhere close to what the two 2013s are.
Boy, that's kind of sad that
I can't believe
a
y'all
win in Waco is going to be your best road win in a decade.
Well, it's sad.
I know.
How far back y'all are going is crazy to me.
Yeah, but nothing in the Harsin era was relevant. Nothing in the Freeze era has been relevant. You got to go back to Gus.
Some people made the case for 2021 at LSU.
Bo Nix off the bench.
Bo Nix coming back off the bench led them in a 24-19 win.
And that season ended up doing what?
Well, and that's going to be your problem is that season ended up doing nothing.
6 and 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's my point.
Yeah. They did have, and I'm sorry, Jim, but under Harsin, they did have a road win at number 17 Arkansas that same year.
Yep.
38-23. Again, what did that do for you? Nothing.
To me, that was an overrated Arkansas team. That was bad on the AP pollsters.
So, best case, you got to go back at least, you're saying, to the Malzahn era.
Yeah, I mean, that Arkansas team ended up being 4-8. How they were ever ranked that high.
I don't know.
What was the last meaningful season Auburn had? That was
2017.
2019 was not a bad year, right?
Well, 2019 they finished 9-4, but they were 5-3 in the SEC.
Yeah, but they were 9-4.
Won the Iron Bowl.
Did they have a big win in 2019 on the road?
Big road win?
Yeah.
Here are your road wins. Now, they had the neutral site against Oregon, Bo Nix's first game.
That was a big game.
But that's not a road win.
It's not
that's
a true
neutral
road
site,
win,
yeah.
which is what we're talking about.
At number 17, Texas A&M, 28-20 that year. I mean
that's
Auburn
close,
was number 8.
That's close to what Baylor is going to be.
Yeah. They lost at Florida 24-13. They lost. They beat Arkansas, but that was an unranked Arkansas team that won 51-10. They lost at LSU 23-20, and that was it for the road games. So that was 2019. I would say 2017 I mean, that was a year they played for a conference championship. They were 8-5 in 2018. 2017 played for a conference championship, 10-win season. Your road wins are as follows. They lost at number 3 Clemson, 14-6. They won at Missouri, 51-14. They lost at LSU, 27-23. They won at Arkansas. They won at Texas A&M. Both teams were unranked at the time, and that was it.
Yeah. To me,
when's the last time they beat Bama on the road? Was that 10?
The last time
the
comeback was the last road win.
Wow. Yeah. That's to me, this Baylor game is so important that it rises up to 2014 at Ole Miss. And that's Auburn coming off of a national runner-up season, 2013, still really, really big. I think Ole Miss was nationally ranked in the top 10 as well at the time. I think both teams were in the top 10.
But I think even later that month, you're going to have a bigger road game when you go to Norman.
You are. There's no doubt because it's a conference game. But, I mean, I was blown away that the earliest anybody said was 2021 LSU to Brad.
It doesn't. It surprises me that it surprises you.
No, I'm saying that it's just crazy to consider that it has been 4 years since you've even had a meaningful road win.
Yeah. Which is why we probably, and you can go to our social media platform at Next Round Live. We'll talk about it more tomorrow on the show, but Taylor has a graphic she sent out about true last 5 years, the actual numbers on who has been successful at home and who hasn't been. It's probably why, by the numbers, we overplay Jordan-Hare Stadium as a home field advantage because of, in recent years, the lack of true good road wins. Their quality wins have been at home. Their really good close losses have been at home.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you have this discussion with Auburn, you have to start with the fact that you just made the point they never win the Iron Bowl at Bryant-Denny. They never beat Georgia in Athens. So
2013 last time.
Yeah, you got to go a long way back. Or every other year, 2 of your road games, you don't even win, Georgia and Alabama. So now you're down to 2. And by the way, those are going to be your 2 biggest road games almost every time you have to play them. It's going to be your 2 biggest ones. So until they find a way to win at Bryant-Denny or Sanford Stadium, this is going to continue to be a discussion.
But see, this isn't, I don't think, is a shot at Auburn's road wins as much as it is how big this game at Baylor is, in my opinion. To find a win, in Brad's question here, is a win at Baylor for Auburn is the best road win since blank. You can look at it like they've had some road wins. This one is just so big that it takes you back to this certain year. That's why I go back to 2014 Ole Miss.
Yeah.
This game is so important for Auburn. You got to go back to the road win when both teams were in the top 10 at Ole Miss to find a road win that's as big as this one's going to be if Auburn gets that win.
And I absolutely cannot get a feel for this game. I think Lance leans
It's
Auburn
too early
right now.
for you to have a feel on it, Brad.
Huh?
It's too early for you to have
How
a
many
feel on
days,
this
How many
game.
days we got there, Jimmy?
66 times 6.
If
so
you
72
tell me
so plus 6.
Auburn is going to be really good at stopping the run, Auburn's going to win this game. I think Auburn wins the game.
Yeah, you've leaned Auburn for quite a while now, as you've talked about it both on and off the microphone.
I would agree with you.
And if they lose this game, I mean, look, Baylor could go on and win the Big 12.
Baylor's
but boy,
got
that's
two
gonna be
really
a tough loss.
2 great running backs, great defensive-minded head coach. Auburn's got more talent.
They should have the better roster. I don't disagree with you on that.
But, hey, you know, we did that, the college football future power rankings. When did we do that? Last week?
Yep.
And, you know, we really didn't talk about the neighborhood Auburn was in. But Auburn on this.
I thought we did, that they were down at 37 and the people that were around them.
Yeah, you talked about how
we didn't talk about
embarrassing
teams a couple of teams in front of them, like Colorado was in front of them.
Yeah.
You know, Auburn was 37, Colorado 35. Also in front, Duke 34.
Yep.
Like, Auburn should never be in a world where Colorado and Duke are at least expected over the next couple of years to be in a better spot.
Yeah, I would agree 100%.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to correct something because people talk about it in the chat room. That 2013 Georgia game you mentioned was at home. Remember, that was the prayer at Jordan-Hare.
Oh, it was.
Auburn has not won in Athens. Now, they haven't beaten Georgia much of anywhere recently, but they haven't won in Athens since 2005. That's how far back you have to go for the last time Auburn won a game in Athens. 31-30, Auburn won that one. And since that game, since 2005 or starting in 2006, Auburn has only beaten Georgia 3 times. since 2006. So Georgia has completely dominated that series against Auburn. But you go back to the Iron Bowl as well. It's the Cam back. I mean, Cam has had a successful NFL career and been retired for a minute, and he's the last Auburn quarterback to beat Alabama at Bryant-Denny Stadium. And most of those games aren't particularly close, frankly.
That's our Spotlight today, brought to you by our friend Alexander Shunnarah, trial attorneys. The show also today being brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision, LT.
205-969-8100. Again, I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. 2015 vision, better than 2020. If you've been procrastinating, you wear the contacts or the glasses, stop. Make the phone call today. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. They're going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. You have zero to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Before we get to our 4 downs today, I want to ask you a little NFL question. Over a decade, over 10 years, if I asked you guys, and before Forrester puts up a graphic to support this, if I ask you guys the best receiver, the most successful receiver in the NFL over the last decade.
So is it a single season or just the decade as a whole?
10 years.
Yeah.
The last 10 years of the NFL, who has
the problem is some
most
of your
receiving yards, or however you want to judge
some of
it.
your best receivers right now haven't played long enough to do that, like Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I think Stephon Diggs might be the guy as far as just yards.
6 on the list is Stephon Diggs at 10,491 yards during that period.
And this is last decade?
Last 10 years of the NFL from Fox Sports.
I don't know that he's going to be number one, but Tyreek Hill has to be up there.
he'll be up there.
Tyreek Hill is 4th on the list, 11,000 and some yard change, 98 yards.
With no injuries, I would say my man Cooper Kupp, but I know that can't be factual because he's had way too many injuries.
Cooper not on my graphic here.
Are tight ends involved?
Tight ends are involved.
Travis Kelce.
Number 3 on the list right here, 11,289. Pop the list up for us, Forrester. Number 1 on the list, would it surprise you that Mike Evans
not at all.
in 10 years has the most receiving yards of anybody in the league?
I would have guessed a minute before I got to Mike Evans.
Followed by Devontae Adams, then Kelce, then Tyreek Hill, DeAndre Hopkins, then Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper on the list over the last 10 years.
Amari Cooper has been super consistent over
I
his
would have
career.
had, like, if you would have had a list of 25 guys, I would have had Evans number 1.
Would you really?
He's been that consistent, yes.
Keenan Allen, Julio Jones, and then Brandon Cooks. I mean, it's been a minute since Julio Jones has done something and still holding on that list. 2 Alabama wide receivers over the last decade making the list of most yards in the last 10 years.
You know what jumps out at me is you start looking through those. Mike Evans has played for 3 quarterbacks now as regular starters. Only one of them a Hall of Famer. Devontae Adams played for a lock Hall of Famer for most of his career. Travis Kelce has as well. Tyreek Hill for most of his career did until he got to Miami. But then there's Hopkins, man. That guy has bounced around. Look at those numbers. 10,000 receiving yards. Who is the Hall of Fame quarterback he has played with until the tail end of his career when he's played with Mahomes? I mean, he did it in Houston, and his Houston quarterback was...
a bunch of different ones.
He did it in Arizona, and his Arizona quarterback was Kyler Murray. He did it in Tennessee, and his quarterback was Will freaking Levis. I mean, for him to have 10,000, almost 11,000 receiving yards is pretty remarkable with the quarterbacks he's had to catch balls from.
That gets us to our 4 downs today, brought to you by our friends, in part, by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa.
Woodhouse Day Spa, the gift of relaxation, whether it's girlfriend, wife, mom, you want to take care of dad, you're just looking for a unique birthday present. You can do it from our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa. You can stop in, see Stuart, the great staff, located conveniently at the Summit Shopping Centers, or you can order those gift cards online 24/7. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. Choose from a menu of over 70 options, including the skincare, the waxing, nail services, body treatments, massages, and much more. 24/7. You can order those gift cards online. Birmingham.woodhousespas.com.
First down.
Mike Evans, a lock Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Best Buccaneer of all time.
Derek Brooks is my guy now, but I'll probably go Mike Evans.
Yeah. I would probably go Evans, Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp.
Mike Allstott.
Warwick Dunn. But I would go Mike Evans.
I mean, a lot of defensive guys.
No doubt.
After you go
John
Dutch.
Lynch.
Yeah.
More wins this year. The Gators or the Miami Dolphins?
He knows I'm bullish on the Florida Gators, but that I am completely unobjective on the Miami Dolphins. I think Florida can get to 10 wins. 10-7 for Miami would be, I think they can. I'm not saying
totally
they will.
Upside down on this.
I think they can get to 10 wins. They're more likely 9-3. If they're 9-3, Miami's got a shot. If they're 10-7, as much as I hate to say this, I think Miami's probably fighting for another 10-7 this year.
So Buffalo's going to be really good.
Yep.
The Jets are going to be the Jets.
Yep.
The Patriots will be better.
They're better.
I think that takes a loss or puts another loss onto Miami.
Did you change head coaches?
No, Mike McDaniel's still there, but if he doesn't, I mean, it's not just about making the playoffs for him. I think he's got to make the playoffs and advance to keep his job. So
there's no way the Florida Gators get to 9 wins.
Oh, you don't even think they can get to 9?
No.
Well, then I would take the Dolphins here.
So I'm taking the Dolphins.
I would take the Dolphins 9-8 or 8-7.
Yeah.
Really, really close, but I'll take the Dolphins.
Yeah, me too.
Dolphins at 8 wins.
8-7, 9 to 8.
Terrible.
8-9's not terrible. It's a losing record. You don't make the playoffs in the AFC.
Puts you alive.
I don't get to play in the NFC South.
Puts you in playoff contention for Week 18 in the AFC South. You got 8 wins.
Yeah,
you're playing a meaningful Week 8
Jim,
game.
we're in the South. I wish we were in either one of the South divisions.
And for the record, last time you won a playoff game?
The Miami Dolphins, Lance, that has been 25 years now.
Yeah.
Brad Law asked the question.
Last Dolphins road win?
Last Dolphins road playoff win since.
That was meaningful?
Yeah.
Second down.
Who gets to a college football playoff semifinal first, Florida or USC?
Semifinal. We're raising a bar.
Gosh, I mean,
so this is not just about sneaking in at 9-3. This is about being a really good team.
Semifinals is tough. I mean, neither one of them both of them are only fringe playoff contenders this year, much less a semifinal team.
Yeah, but if I would have asked this question a year ago about James Franklin, you would have been like, oh.
Good point.
But semifinals means in the future we're going to. That means you got to win 2 games.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be a really, really good team.
But to Lance's point, you look at James Franklin, he got SMU and Boise. I mean, that was a pretty sweet path to the semifinals.
But also to Lance's point, in the future, you may luck up and get a group of 5 or, a bad Big 12 champion or bad ACC champion in one game. But then you got to beat a good team in your second game to get to the semifinals.
Yeah, I've seen Lincoln Riley have more success. I mean, Billy Napier, 33 wins his final 3 years at Louisiana, but 19 wins in 3 years at Florida. Like, I've seen Lincoln Riley do it at this level before.
The only reason James Franklin got SMU and Boise is we had a stupid system that gave conference champions automatic top 4 seeds. Otherwise, he would not have been playing at Boise in that second game.
What really is interesting is both Florida and USC are killing it in recruiting this year. So both of them are about to get better, I think. I'm going to say Florida gets there before USC does.
I mean, they are both so far away.
I wish USC had DJ Lagway. USC could be there this year for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
If they've traded Maeva and a
they
draft
could be in the
pick.
playoffs, I think. LT.
Yeah,
I don't know if they could get to the semifinals.
Yeah, I am going to go Florida, but I would not feel good about
USC.
Yeah.
Third down.
Blake Shelton, 49 years old today. Ultimately better career.
He's only 49?
He's 49.
I like you saying that because I'm 49, so I'm only 49 too, right?
Yeah, but Blake's, I mean, he's been around a while, and he's got an older woman.
Yeah, he looks a little older. How old is his wife?
Stefani is 53.
53?
Do you think I look younger than 49?
That's hard for me to say.
Yeah, because you know me so well.
Yeah, well, because in my head, mentally I'm 28, and I'm not 28 anymore.
The beverage cart girls at a local golf course were trying to guess how old I was recently. And one guessed 41.
Yeah.
And one guessed 43. I did not tip. I had not even bought anything.
Yeah,
Is that what you're doing was the tip?
Yeah, but they tell you that.
They're playing that up.
I know. Well, I just turned around and I said thank you and walked away.
Yeah, that's sad you did that.
Well, I had not ordered anything. My buddy got something. I didn't get anything.
I mean, there's a reason why I'm broke. I'll go ahead and tell you. We were playing at a local place recently, and the play was so slow. It had been a long rain delay. I got nothing from the cart girl except a cup of ice, and I gave her $5 because she's out there getting nothing all day long.
I do feel bad for the beverage cart girl. Yeah, when the weather sucks.
My son is waiting breakfast over the summer. He's waiting tables at breakfasts now. He comes home and tells me in a very affluent part of town here on Highway 280 of how many tables that leave him with 0 tip.
That's impossible.
0 tip.
Trust me, part of town does not matter.
Yeah.
People do not tip.
On Father's Day, he had 4 tables that left 0 tip. He says they rarely get to 20%.
Well, you 20%, and I've told my kids is kind of the minimum.
He used to gripe at me. He used to gripe at me before he did this, and you always said this, LT, and I mentioned your name to him.
Uncle LT.
I was like, because he came to me after he started doing this. He's like, it used to always bother me the way you over-tipped.
Your son told you this, because you are an over-tipper.
And he is a penny pincher. And he would go,
he didn't get that from either one of you guys.
And he didn't. And he does that, but he's very smart, so he does 20%, like Lance does, 25%, 30% in his head all the time. And he'll glance over at what I'm tipping, and he's like, Dad, you're way over tipping. And I'm like, I explained to him, especially at breakfast. And he came to me the other day and said, I never really appreciated what you did tipping until now that I do this. And he goes, the number of people who I know have money by what they're wearing, they leave
That's
nothing.
sad. I'll tell you what.
You shouldn't go out to eat if you don't tip.
Yeah, if you're not going to tip. The server, anybody that serves me at a restaurant benefits the most from me just not wanting to take the time to do simple math. Because I will basically figure out where 20% is, and then I'll just go to the next round number so I don't have to add up. So in other words, like if it's 8, I'll just go up to 10. So I got some easy math right there. You know what I'm saying?
Big step in my life on trying to start to save a little bit of money. The other day at Publix, I went by, instead of going to just a fast food place and spending $20, I went to Publix. And I bought some deli meat, and I wanted to get some blueberries for my cereal in the mornings. And, they have like 2 blueberry things for $5 or $6, whatever the sign says.
You went out and picked your own blueberries.
So I grabbed one.
Right.
Because Maggie tells me you don't have to buy 2 for $6. You can grab 1 and it'll be 1 for $3.
Yeah.
So I grab 1 blueberry, and I take it up there, and my little sandwich meat, and she said $16.
Whoa. How much is that turkey?
Said, whoa. And
little lady.
The turkey was like $6 and something.
Yeah.
And I looked, I said, these blueberries are $8. It was like 2 for $6. And she's like, not these. These are the blah, 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 blahs.
The Cadillac of blueberries,
And Taylor Corn will tell you, because she saw me buy a $450 vest.
Yeah, because you didn't want to look at the price tag, right?
I didn't want to take it back because I was already at the register. And Jim Dunaway never does this. He said, I tell you what, you can take the $8 blueberries and
shove them up your...
Take them back over there, because I don't want to take them off my ticket. So I paid the $6 in the turkey and walked out. I never do that. Usually I would have just said, okay, I'll take them.
That is a big step for you. I would agree. I cannot believe they got high-end blueberries at Publix, though.
Yeah, they were the big juicy ones, though. I wanted them so bad. Old Jim wanted those blueberries.
So it was Blake Shelton or who?
Yeah, I didn't get to the second half.
Okay, well, who's the second half?
Blake Shelton or Josh Heupel, ultimately better career.
Blake Shelton.
Shelton's, he's so good.
I'm not crazy about his music, but
Bro.
What?
Come on.
I'm not crazy about Blake
Can you
Shelton's
name
music.
a song of
Old
Blake
Red.
Shelton?
Old Red is a
great
hit.
song. It's a great story.
Not only is it a big hit, it's what he named his restaurant after. Yeah.
And it's undefeated.
Hey, and you know what? Old Red is not just...
undefeated even with dogs.
Yeah. He's not just going to do... he's expanding that thing. It's not just one of the Broadway restaurants. He's opening another one somewhere.
He's got one in the airport.
Yeah, but there's another one somewhere else, too. I don't know if it's in... it's in Gatlinburg, I think.
Yeah, that's the one I've been to.
Oh, Old Red? Yeah, but there's one in Broadway, on Broadway, too. I've never been in there.
I like Blake Shelton a lot.
No, he seems like a fun guy.
I'm bad at naming. It really blows everyone's mind that I can't remember movie lines and stuff. God's Country, Pour Me Another, Sangria. I like Sangria a lot.
Yeah.
That's a good song.
Keith asked...
I don't like Honeybee.
Keith asked, do you tip on total with tax or total without tax?
Total with tax.
That's what I tip on, yeah.
When it comes.
Yeah, people say you're not supposed to tip on wine the same percentage. What do you mean? It's just easy.
If it comes out,
I mean, if you get a
$56,
$500 bottle of wine, which I don't, but I'm just saying, there's a lot of people, like if you include wine, you're supposed to tip back a little bit.
Like less or more?
No, less.
Less on the wine. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So like if you have $1,000 worth of food and then a $500 bottle of wine, I just keep it clean. We're going to start at 20%.
Math. Yeah.
Like if I got a ticket for $56, I usually cut that in half. It's the first thing I do. Right?
What do you mean? What's half of 56?
No, I always round up. So I'm going to start at $12. But because it's going to be 68, I'm going to go on and make it 70. So they're going to get $14
that's what
on
I'm
that.
saying. I do the same
minimal.
thing Lance does. I get to a good round number that's easy to half.
Yeah.
So 56.
60 times 2 would be a $12 tip.
$12
so
tip.
58, we're just going to, 68, we're going to round it up to 70.
But then I don't want to do, but see, here's
I go 56. Half is 28.
Nope.
Then I go to the even number. I go 24, so I tip $24.
Okay, so let me shoot. Wow, it's a big tip on
What
a
did you-
on a
what did you tip?
$56 bill. You tip $24.
I would if we were sitting down at a restaurant and the server had to serve me. That's what
Can
I
I be
tip.
your waiter?
My Lord, Jim, that's a huge. That's a 50% tip.
Yeah, mine would.
It's a little under 50%.
Well, I know.
Mine would be $14 on that unless it was just outstanding service.
Okay.
And 14 is still going to equate to 25%.
Let me show you how I do it. I'm saying this is one of the server benefits for me. Here's how I do it.
I just told you the way I did. I divide it in half, and then I find a nice number.
But no, here's what I do: is I'm like Lance. I round up to 60.
And this is why you got to think about buying Sunday ticket every year.
Yeah, 56 rounds up to 60.
There's no thinking. It's no this year.
56 rounds up to 60. Half of 60 is 30, right? Or I mean, hang on. 56 rounds up to 60. 20% is $12, and I don't want to do dumb math, so I just round up to 20.
Yeah,
that's the way I do it. Now that's going to be an excessive tip, but
even better is you put the 12 on top of the 56, which makes it 68, and round that up to 70. They're getting a $14 tip, which is more than 25%. Everybody's winning.
Yeah.
Can I be one of y'all's waiters? I
Absolutely.
delivered to somebody with their own private basketball court and tennis court in their yard and got a $2 tip.
Yeah, I don't think you understand that a lot
On
of
a
people
$100 meal, too.
they are overextended, and a lot of people live on credit. And just because they have the nice car and the nice house and the nice clothes, that's why credit card debts. I think the average person carries like $35,000 in credit card debt.
That's believable.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Fourth down.
Blake Shelton, by the way. Blake Shelton.
These two guys do not carry this debt. How about this? Heavy hitters. Paul McCartney, 83 years old today.
Okay.
Paul McCartney, Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. It's very easy. Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods the best to have done it. Paul McCartney was only good because he was part of a group. Tiger had to do it by himself. Tiger is solo.
But so you're 100. I agree that Tiger was better than Jack.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that believe Jack is better. So you're saying,
oh, I think Tiger's the best that's ever done it. Jack only has the numbers over Tiger because Tiger made dumb decisions in his life and he lost focus.
But the most iconic band, and look, I'm not a huge fan.
Yeah, not either.
I think is the Beatles.
But he's one of four. If Paul McCartney never meets Ringo Starr and
forget Ringo Starr. If he never meets John Lennon,
John Lennon or George
teams
Harrison
up with anybody else,
that's right.
We don't know who Paul McCartney
Paul McCartney is pumping gas in Yorkshire.
But Paul McCartney still either one of those two guys. Those are the go-to guys for the Beatles, right?
They are, but that's because it's the Beatles. Right, yeah, again, if he never meets John Lennon, he's pumping gas in Yorkshire, and we don't even have this question.
It's Lennon-McCartney is the Belichick-Brady debate.
Yeah.
Okay, and Brady to me is Lennon, and Belichick is Paul McCartney.
Yeah, the only reason Paul McCartney's the most famous Beatle is some nut job shot John Lennon. If John Lennon had outlived Paul McCartney, he's easily the most popular Beatle.
I don't know about popularity because he was a hard guy to like.
Laying in bed with Yoko.
Yeah. Oh, they'd have broke up at some point.
I don't know, boy.
Yeah.
Balls in person.
She did have it. I agree.
Broken up first.
What?
Right. I said I think the band would have broken up first.
Oh yeah, but John Lennon.
John did.
Tiger over Paul, Jack Nicklaus over Paul.
Yeah, I don't know if John Lennon would have had the solo career. I hate Paul McCartney and Wings. I think it is like dumb stuff, but they had a ton of success.
A ton?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One number one song.
Yeah, they got one good song.
I would think they had 5 top 10s.
I mean,
but again, I wasn't a fan.
They were playing in the group of 5 back then, that era of music. I mean,
Tiger was having to do it.
I mean, my God, what was that? The early 70s?
Can Paul McCartney?
Here's something that's not about war.
Yeah. Can Paul McCartney even sing, really? Is he a good singer?
Oh, he's not bad.
I tell you, I saw him one time, and it was the Super Bowl McNabb threw up at, so Eagles, Patriots.
Yep.
I left shortly after
Jacksonville?
Paul. But yeah.
I mean, do they have one?
It was a great performance.
I'm going to go back. Do they even have one good song? Band on the Run?
Band on the Run's a good song, but I hate the way it
Live
ends.
and Let Die, horrible.
That was a
Silly
song?
love songs, worse.
Those are. I'm not saying they're good songs. Those are all top 10 songs.
Yeah. Again, Paul McCartney, right place, right time. He just met the right people.
And Live and Let Die was a good song until they brought that second part of the song.
And I would say the same about John Lennon. If he doesn't connect with Paul McCartney, you probably don't know who John Lennon is. I mean, he's not going to make it as a solo guy.
Band on the Run. Oh, my goodness.
The Silly Love Song is awful.
You did nothing but help Tiger Woods' case. That's 4 Downs. They're brought to you today in part by our friends at New York Butcher Shop.
I went in last night, saw our man Jim, the lightning strike survivor that he is. Got a bottle of wine. Bottle of wine and meatballs, the only 2 things I got. I should have let you guys guess.
Did you tip
Never
light?
would have done that.
Did you tip light on the bottle of wine?
I did not tip light on the bottle of wine.
There you go.
That's another thing if it's the proprietor.
I've always heard that.
If you're getting your hair cut from Roni,
so
not that I pay Roni anyway, but
you don't have to pay?
It's been 28 years in the making.
I pay every time I go.
Yeah,
but I've known Roni for 28 years.
Yeah, so why are you still taking advantage of him is the question.
Yeah,
I offered back in the day, and it's
Yeah.
just one of those things that I see him every couple of weeks. We catch up. It's
I
our
always
time to catch up.
always tipped Roni when I had hair.
I've never tipped Roni because I told him, again, that's the way I went in and I said, give me a price that includes the tip for you. You're the proprietor. I'm not supposed to tip you. Whatever price you tell me it is to cut my hair every time, that's what I'm paying you every time. Nothing more, nothing less.
I tip Jim when I'm at New York Butcher Shop because I assume, and I think I said that, he's going to give it to the staff.
That's right, yeah.
That's why I tipped him.
All right, go ahead, Lance. I'm sorry.
Meatballs, wine last night, went home, had this great pasta dish. Fantastic. But not only that, you can pick up the freshly carved meats from that great butcher staff.
That's your price tag last night?
Nope. Was less than that.
Less than that?
Believe it or
Wow.
not. Specialty items, deli sandwiches, prepared foods, catering, fantastic selection of fine wines and desserts, rare quality, well-done service, 2 locations for you. And don't forget about the Boston Butts. No, it was more than that.
That would have been my tip, I'm saying, on that number.
Boston Butts. You can order them for the 4th of July, fully cooked, fully smoked, available for pickup the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Either locations, the original, Cava Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. It's the New York Butcher Shop.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
When you crave activity like we do, you belong in the Roback family. Get the best golf wear, hoodies, and activewear for men and women at Roback.com. Use promo code TNR20 to get 20% off your order. That's Roback.com, promo code TNR20.
Hey, you. Days warming up. Looking like spring. And at New Balance Birmingham, we've got the thing. What pops and what's fresh? Check the selects. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
The Double Down Media podcast family is live and full of content for all ages. The Mystery Fifth Hour gives the Next Round host a chance to talk about everything but sports. Pour a glass of Bama and bourbon, our weekly college football conversation while sipping some of the most interesting pours in the bourbon world. And our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call. LT takes off the gloves for an in-depth conversation with stars like Taylor Hicks, presented by Redmond Vodka. Find those podcasts and more by searching The Next Round on Apple, Spotify, and on our website, nextroundlive.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
I'm attorney Alexander Shunnarah, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
I'm gonna have a hot WNBA take after you tell us about Company Distilling. Okay,
hot WNBA take.
Yes.
Yeah. Please tell me that they cannot include conflict.
No, give me Company Distilling, and I got to tell you something.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting in a room with 15 guys in EG last night when the highlights of that game came on. So I'll give you the reaction. Company Distilling.
Very embarrassing, by the way. Big news, Alabama. Company Distilling now available at ABC stores across the state. If you've been waiting to try a whiskey that is good as the company you keep, this is your moment. Find your bottle. Learn more at companydistilling.com/Alabama. Must be 21 plus or older. Please enjoy responsibly. Not only Alabama, but stores in Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina, whether you're picking up a bottle for the weekend gathering or just exploring something new. Company Distilling, worth the pour. If you can't find it on the shelf, just ask your local store to order it in. Spirits this good deserve to be shared. It is Company Distilling.
Okay, just let me get through this. But fact, Caitlyn Clark is the best basketball player on the planet right now, female-wise.
Fact.
Yeah, women's basketball player, best in the planet. She shoots the lights out.
Might end up being the best ever.
Plays with a fever. Playing the Sun last night.
She should take ibuprofen.
She had 20. Caitlyn Clark gets accidentally poked in the eye by J.C. Sheldon. She pushes back because she got poked in the eye.
And nothing pushed, by the way.
Then Marina Marbury comes up and bumps her. She flops like a soccer player onto the court. There's some scuffling. Then she goes out and sticks some daggers in their eyes, just bombs. Later on, a Sun person is rolling towards the hole, and very hot smoking, good fashion style Sophie Cunningham basically bulls tackles her to the court, and there's pushing and shoving and no real punches throwing. We saw the highlights, 15 men playing poker in EG at Poker Club last night, or Tuesday Night Poker. We all stopped playing poker, watched it, to which one guy said at the table, well, if they did this every night, I think I'd watch. And it was intriguing highlights.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what it was watching the game, but watching the highlights, I was like, well, of everything on SportsCenter tonight, that was about the most interesting thing I saw in sports today.
Yeah, I just couldn't get over the soccer, the glance, and then falling on the court. And
yeah,
I'm kind of with you, though. I mean, like, we celebrate the late 80s, early 90s of NBA basketball.
And that's what this is. These are the bad girls.
When Larry Bird and Bill Laimbeer got thrown, was that an Eastern Conference Finals game?
Yeah, I just don't like cat fights. Cat fights make me uncomfortable.
But why is that any different than men fighting? I'm just saying that in sports world, If these,
it's a lot different to me.
But they're all taking their shots at Caitlyn Clark, and to me, they should be.
Oh, they should embrace her.
They shouldn't be letting her win, but I think the Stanley
should
Cup
have more respect for her based on the fact that without Caitlyn Clarks of the world, well, I don't know this. They probably would prop it up anyway. But she is by far the best out there, and she is making them additional money now.
Tons more money. 2.7 million people watched Game 5 of the Stanley Cup. 2.2 million watched not last night's game, the weekend game that Caitlyn Clark was in. Almost the same number as the Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, I'll tell you a bigger number that is more important to the future of that league is recently the New York Liberty sold shares to raise capital to build a practice facility, and the valuation of the franchise on those share sales was $450 million.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. That's $450 million. I mean, smart business people were buying shares, Lance.
But how can it be worth $450 million if they don't make money?
I think they're making some money.
So not all franchises, I don't think, lose money.
Yeah.
No, not. I mean, I think the league as a whole probably does, and there is a subsidy from the NBA, and some of that too. Though, even if they're losing money, they can look forward to TV deals and say, perhaps it will be more profitable one day. But it wouldn't surprise me if the New York you don't think the New York WNBA franchise would make money? They don't pay they don't pay their players anything.
Here's the first thing. NBA owners furious with the WNBA for losing more money in 2024.
No, the league as a whole is. I'm not arguing with that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I would not be.
Sarah Ashley Barker, who's turning into a star for LA, by the way.
Yeah.
She's like on the cover of their social media and everything. $71,000, I think, is what she makes to live in L.A. But
that's right.
They do cover housing.
Yep.
And I think they give them a ride, a car, and things like that. Some food.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the big market teams turned maybe a small profit. But like the New York team, they're paying their players nothing. They're probably paying their coaches nothing. Their front office, is not as big as an NBA front office. They're sharing an arena with somebody else.
I think they're sharing front offices too. I think.
Yeah. I mean, so I would think with merch sales, ticket sales, and media sales, they're probably a profitable franchise.
Maybe. I mean, and this is what it comes down to. New media rights deal, and I don't get this at all, worth approximately $200 million per year, goes into effect in 2026.
Jim just told you why, man. As many people are watching that as watching hockey.
2.2 million viewers on average for Caitlyn Clark games.
And that's for Caitlyn Clark. But $200 million a year, I don't think the NHL's got a deal like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you is that valuation of the New York franchise is almost as much as, and I can't remember which NHL franchise is the lowest valuation, but they're basically the same number.
I love watching her shoot the basketball.
Oh, she can shoot.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not watching a play. It matters none to me, but I'm just telling you.
NBA owners want to know how they're going to get their money back on the WNBA.
There's no doubt.
Yeah. When they get inside the arc, that's where the women's game loses it for me. When they can't dunk at the rim.
Yeah, it's a different game.
Yeah. But when Caitlyn Clark is shooting threes, it's as pretty as anything you see in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, Angel Reese's game, I don't want to watch it.
That's right.
She's not. I mean, she misses a ton of layups. I mean, she can't. She's only going to shoot under the basket, and she can't really do that well.
Yep.
But the outside shooters, I would watch that if I was going to watch it.
In fact, they took rebounding out of it, and you couldn't go inside the three-point line. It'd be a fun game.
Just a shooting contest.
Alexander Shunnarah bringing us the show. Trial attorneys. How about an evaluation of $2 billion plus and counting of earnings?
That's
and
right.
Winnings.
That's what Alexander Shunnarah has done for his clients, and his elite trial lawyers have done this. $2 billion. And one thing that Alex wanted to do, Alexander Shunnarah is a Birmingham guy. He wanted to create a firm that could handle any issue Birmingham faced. So they now not only handle personal injury claims, but claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. When you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shunnarah trial attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Shunnarah.com, Shunnarah.com.
Any attempt to restrict drinking and driving here is viewed by some as downright undemocratic.
They're making it laws where you can't drink when you want to. You have to wear a seatbelt when you're driving. And pretty soon we're going to be calling this country.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Hey, drink it responsibly. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. It is Bud Light. It is Wednesday. Come enjoy some Bud Light tonight at Odie's Tavern for Odie's Team Trivia. If you're heading to the beach or lake this weekend, pick up some delicious Bud Light. We start first. Liquid Death, purveyor of canned water, has announced it's selling 10 empty cans of iced tea that were drank by Ozzy Osbourne and were then sealed to contain his DNA.
Ooh, boy, that DNA will make the sidewalk sizzle.
Now, dubbed Infinite Ozzy, these 10 cans, valued at $450 a piece, are being sold via the Liquid Death website to anyone lucky enough to snag one. Now, each was laboratory sealed, signed by Ozzy himself, with their timely arrival coming just weeks ahead of Black Sabbath and Ozzy's final concert, July 5th in Birmingham, England.
Why don't we just get some Q-tips and swab his gums?
I mean, I don't think I want Ozzy's DNA. I don't know about you.
Quote, once technology and federal law permit, fans can use this DNA to try to clone Ozzy in the future and enjoy him for hundreds of years to come, stated Liquid Death's publicity team on the goal of the campaign.
That's the goal of the campaign? Or is the goal of the campaign to make money?
Yeah. Not only do I not understand that, I don't understand Liquid Death.
Have you ever tried it?
I thought it was just water.
It is, I think.
It's just water.
Is that right, Tyler? Is it just water?
You look like a Liquid Death guy.
Charlie, you've had Liquid Death.
It's just, I think it's like mountain sparkling water or something.
Yeah.
But water in a can is interesting because, I mean, water's always in a bottle.
I enjoy it in the bottle. Why do I want it in a can?
I mean, I don't know if it's why Liquid Death puts it in a can. I know they save money using like recycled materials to make their cans, but you've got no plastics leaking into the Liquid Death can.
I'm reading right here on my Dasani Coca-Cola, good sponsor here. I'm a 100% recycled bottle.
All right.
100%.
That's a win for you, Jim.
Yeah. Recycled right here.
Well, the other reason you drink Liquid Death is you're at a concert and that's the only water they're selling.
That does have an impact on it. I would agree. Yes.
Lance Taylor told me once that canned beer better than bottled beer and beer on tap, right? That the canned beer is a truer taste?
Well, so to me, the canned beer is a truer taste.
I've always preferred the bottle over the can.
Yeah, the bottle takes in light, and so therefore it does affect the taste. Can does not. Like if you're just going to, my suggestion would be if you don't like the texture of the can, which a lot of people don't, get you a pint glass, buy cans. If you're drinking it at home, you just pour it in the pint glass. That's what I do.
And that's the best taste.
That's the best taste to me.
Okay.
Now a fresh tap. Like we get our taps cleaned every couple of weeks up here. When we get that fresh tap with a fresh keg, that's really, really good.
That's a good taste. Brent, I'd like to know the chat room. Bottled beer or canned beer?
Okay,
take the tap off in the chat room. Let me know. Bottled beer or canned beer? I'm a bottled beer guy, but Lance tells me for the connoisseur, can's a better taste.
Well, real quick, Morgan says bottle skunks because of light.
Yep, it does.
David says canning cheaper than bottling, so that's why. Laura, one of our great female listeners, says draft gives her a headache. So can or bottle is fine.
I think I'm a little bit the same way.
Well, because a lot of these lines aren't cleaned. And if you get that little bit of a skunk taste, it's because of the bacteria, and the bacteria is going to affect the head.
God, you're like a beer doctor.
No. How about this headline?
Dr. Taylor?
And we'll try to figure this out. Man finds out he was married without his knowledge. Ex-girlfriend has been arrested.
Well, now, wait a minute. If she's ex-girlfriend...
Are they in Vegas?
Here we go.
All right, okay.
36-year-old Texas woman is being held on felony stalking charges in a bizarre case where a wedding was held without the groom present and without his knowledge.
Can I just say her mugshot, I'm going to charge her with attempted murder.
Scott just pointed out something fantastic. Fox 44 doesn't know how to spell surprise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It always gets me, too. Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Now,
surprise.
this is Kristen Spearman was arrested, booked into county jail. Beverly Hills Police Chief Corey Martin said his office was contacted by a 42-year-old man Friday who said that he found a package from his ex-girlfriend at his home that included a copy of a marriage certificate showing he was married. Now, the victim told police he had been in a relationship with the suspect. They had gotten a marriage license around June 2nd, but had broken up before the wedding took place. Chief Martin said the investigation determined that the woman had convinced a pastor to certify the marriage without the groom being present. Chief Martin said she then went to the county clerk's office, filed for the certificate. Chief Martin said that with the assistance of the police department, the suspect was located at her residence near Hewitt. Police obtained an arrest warrant for third-degree felony stalking and took Spearman into custody.
As Randy Owen once said, this is love in the first degree.
Do you like that song?
I did.
I think the Reverend is here to blame a little bit.
I would agree. Yeah. Yep, I would agree. This is on the preacher. Never been a preacher, but I would think I'm going to need both people present before I sign the document there.
I'm going to need two I do's.
Yeah, I'd like to hear both.
Yep.
Boston Dynamics robot dog Spot has made its talent show debut with 5 of the 4-legged robots performing a synchronized dance to Queen's Don't Stop Me Now on the show America's Got Talent. Now, the robot dog's arms were also used to lip sync to Freddie Mercury. Got an update on the Louisiana 10.
Oh, I'd forgotten about these guys once I was out of it.
So 2 still on the run?
Yep.
Yeah, once I was out of it, Lance, I just kind of tapped out of this story.
Second New Orleans home was searched by U.S. Marshals within less than 24 hours and as investigators worked to close in on inmate Derek Groves.
That's your guy, right?
Yep. The 2 remaining jail escapees have been on the run for more than 1 month. Reporter Shay O'Connor was live from the Orleans Justice Center with an exclusive interview on how law enforcement searched the house to see if Groves had been in contact with the family. Now, family members said they do not want the visits to escalate. They said they do not know where Groves is. They also described what happened after hearing law enforcement knocking on their door Tuesday morning. Now, Jasmine Groves, the aunt of Derek Groves, said, quote, it was like 12 cars, marshals out there with their guns. Groves took video showing the large police presence around a home where she and her children were staying. Groves said, quote, I tell them babies are in the house. One had a shield, one went to go in. Now, U.S. Marshals said they searched the home with permission and did not make any arrest. Groves went on to say, quote, I don't know where he at. I haven't spoken with him. Who would I contact?
Good question.
Now, both convicted killer Derek Groves and Antoine Massey remain on the loose. Groves' family believes he was wrongfully convicted. For the most part, Groves has been largely unspotted since the May 16th escape.
For the most part. No, Tyler's guy was the one doing the Instagram video, right? That was your guy.
My pick was Antoine Massey.
Yeah.
He's the one who's like, I'm innocent.
That's right.
I can't believe he's still out there with those posts.
Department that's
that's
corrupt.
So Groves is now also saying he's innocent?
Yeah.
Okay, so
well, his
both
family
of them,
is. He hasn't actually come out. Now, Groves is the daughter of Kim Groves. Now, Kim was shot and killed in 1994. The hit, according to this, was ordered by corrupt New Orleans Police Department officer Lynn Davis after Kim witnessing him beating a young person in their neighborhood. Ken had been planning Jasmine's 13th birthday party. Now, Derek Groves, Kim Groves' grandson, was convicted of murder last October. After 4 trials, one resulted in a mistrial, another in a deadlock. Groves and Massey remain on the loose. There is a $50,000 reward for information on each inmate.
I got to tell you, these two have made it way longer than I thought.
Yep.
I mean, we're 30 days into this. At 30 days, do you know how far from New Orleans you can get in 30 days? If you're
really
like,
can.
I got to get as far away as I can. I mean, he could be in a different country by now very easily.
Yep.
Of course, now he's probably within a 10-mile radius of the jail, if I had to guess. Just haven't found him yet.
I mean, where would you go? Like, if you're on the run, where would you go?
I think, Lance,
you've got to go to a place you've been familiar with that is not somewhere somebody would track.
Yeah.
First thing you got to do, surveillance is going to be a problem. You got to go get some burner phones.
That's it. That's number one. You're going to have cash.
You got to have cash.
Yeah, I mean, those are your big issues.
You really hit up people that you haven't talked to in a long time, and you still got a good relationship with that you can really trust.
Yeah,
I am far and few between.
I'm gonna have cash buried somewhere. I'm gonna go get that cash. I'm gonna buy a burner phone.
Yeah, chances are if you didn't have cash, you're not in prison to start with.
That's
Go
right.
ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it buried somewhere. I'm gonna get a burner phone. I am going to try my best to get into Canada.
Yeah. What you've got to do is you've got to buy a car from one of these side of the interstate lots, and you've got to be able to, figure out the shady guy there, pay him cash.
It's going to be easier for me to cross undetected into Canada than into Mexico. Too many people watching in Mexico. And then once I get in Mexico, the cartels, that's going to be bad news for me. I'm going to go to Canada.
I would feel more comfortable traveling the rural areas of Canada than Mexico.
That's right.
I don't think I'm going to get beheaded in Canada.
If I'm in Mexico, I'm trying to get to like Costa Rica or somewhere like that. But now I've got to cross another international border. And that's where you're going to get caught. So, yeah, I'm on my way to Canada.
God, I don't want to be on the run.
No, I don't either. I'm not going to be in this situation. I don't plan to be anyway.
That's Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This hour always brought to you by our friends at Champy's, champyschicken.com. Always love those guys down there. Go see Sterling and the crew. The Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, so great. Wonderful way to start out the day or at lunch or at dinner. However you want to roll, that little heat of that recipe from Mississippi Delta. It is so good, the great sides, and of course, the chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order. Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. You can't beat it. champyschicken.com. Braves back in action with the Mets tonight. Dodgers have won 4 straight. Chippy with the Padres last night. They were hitting people close to a bench-clearing brawl. Rafael Devers hits a double in his debut with the Giants. Says he has no problem playing first base. I'll play anywhere for this organization.
Okay, well,
see how that works.
Yeah.
The Yankees have lost 5 straight. They've gone 29 innings without scoring. It's only 7 times ever they've gone 3 straight games without scoring. 37 innings is their record. Back to 08 is when that record was set. 1908. If they get shut out tonight, they break the Yankees' record for being scoreless innings.
I mean, I can't
They ain't
believe
getting shut out tonight.
I can't believe how much controversy was around this team's bats to start the year. Now they can't even score.
The torpedo bats have gone periscope down at this point.
They really have. They have.
So there you go. That's our show today. More college football coming your way tomorrow. Don't forget the Meltdown is live today at 2 p.m. Until next time, God bless you. God bless America.